Let's get this night started with a bang and full of investigative process. 12 Investigative Podcast. Let's follow the evidence. Forget the misinformation, rise the bar on the cases we cover.
All right, there we go. Hello, Sonia. How are you doing tonight on this Thursday night?
Hey Gage. Hi everyone. I'm good. I'm really well. It's
Awesome.
my final day. It was my final day of work today. I'm on vacation for like a week and a half. So
Amazing,
yeah,
amazing. I
everything's
just
good.
came I just came from a vacation, so I know what it feels like to be to
Yeah.
totally fired up about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good
Any
one.
big plans? Any big plans
Well,
that you
yeah,
have?
it's my girlfriend's birthday over the weekend this weekend. So we're gonna have a
Okay.
camp out at her father's tomorrow Saturday. And so that'll be that. And then next week we're gonna do a few things. And then the weekend after that, we're going camping again, but with my mom and her husband. So a lot
Okay.
of camping.
Well,
I bought an eight
happy
people tent and I have to use
right.
it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, girlfriend. Happy birthday,
Yes.
girlfriend.
Happy birthday,
I hope
Cabo.
that you have a good one. I hope you have a good one.
Yeah, she
Um,
will.
my birthday's coming up in September, so
Yes. You're a Libra?
yeah. No, I'm a Virgo.
You're a Virgo? Okay. All right.
Yeah. September 10th. September 10th coming
I'll
up.
remember. I'll remember. Mine's in October. I will
October.
remember. I have my agenda right here. I'll write it down right now.
Yeah.
September 10th. Mine's October
Yeah.
27th, and I'll be 48.
Okay. Oh man, still young, still a
Yeah,
young one.
yes. Yeah, still young.
So, what did you think about the little commercial that I made for tonight's live?
It was cute. Yeah, it was really nice. I like your ads. I really do. They're really good. Very creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're teaching me how to do that, so that's going to be just wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, part of doing your own stuff, isn't the word creator mean that you're actually creating something rather than just, taking from somebody else? That's what I view
Exactly.
it.
No,
And
exactly.
another thing is I look at is the more that you create that is your own stuff, the less YouTube can flag you for it. You get
Yes.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
they can't really be tripping on, well, this is copyright and this is that.
Yeah, but I mean,
Come
YouTube has its own audio too, so if you use that, you're safe as well.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's what I use.
So
All my music is coming from YouTube.
I'm so glad that you decided to come up tonight because
Me too.
I haven't had a guest up here in a while. I was
Really? Well, hey, I
yeah,
have a lot of time. Well, not yeah, I can make a little bit more time over my vacation. I can do it during the day too if you want. We don't have
well,
to
I'm
do it
at
at night.
work during the day, so
Usually, yeah. So nighttime for me is usually better as well.
yeah. But some of the things that I've been talking about lately, I'm still talking on Idaho, and I've noticed that there was a case out of Ohio, the Slider case, and I
Ciders.
was
Yeah, ciders.
Sliders, okay,
Yeah.
Slider, and I noticed that you did a lot of deep dive on that, and I was
Hmm.
interested in that. I talked about it very briefly, but I didn't really deep dive like a lot of
Yeah.
other people. But
Yeah, I
I
went all
thought it was
in.
horrific. I thought it was horrific.
Yeah,
It,
it's so what is it that you know about it? And I'll fill you in with the rest.
okay, I know that they got a call out there because it was a medical emergency for the grandfather, I guess. And once arriving, they found all these 16 kids ranging in multiple ages, with injuries and, like malnourished and uh, all this dirty filth and everything else
Mhm.
going on. And they took the kids, they arrested the four adults.
Right.
Um, and that's all I know. They call it the House of Horrors. That's all I
Yeah.
know.
So basically the reason of their initial uh okay, hold on. The initial reason why they even went there was basically unknown. It's unknown. It's regarding Gary Jr., Elizabeth's husband. He showed his privates multiple occasions at the end of May. So they had 4 public indecency arrests for him. But they haven't disclosed if that is the reason they went that night and then discovered the kids because
Okay.
they had a search warrant. But there's that, but I don't think it's pertaining to that because they said it's something parallel to the whole fact of the kids. So something along those lines. So maybe it's about the CPS and the truancy warrant that they had. Now I'm going to explain to you because you're like, what truancy? So basically, when Elizabeth and I'm friends with Joey, so I have to say that right out now. I'm friends with Joey, which is IDaho&Sider's brother, and also his wife, Nikki. So I'm very good friends with them, and I talk to them on a
Okay.
regular. Um, so and so basically, Elizabeth and Gary Jr. got married when she was 15 and he was 18 in 2008, and they got
Okay.
married in West Virginia. Um, so she was underage. Her parents, I don't know her father's name, but the mother is Lori Russell. Um, and so she signed off for what is it called? Emancipation or something like that for Elizabeth to go with Gary Jr. and his family. So since then, she's been with them, and she's had like a kid every year of
Oh
being
wow.
with him. They've had 18 kids, and 2 died because they were conjoined, and they died like within an hour after being born in 2022. And then I think that's whenever they moved in with Christine and Gary Sr. I think that's when they moved in with them. And that's when the house became I think that's when the house really became filthy. When those people went there, the kids and Elizabeth and Gary, I think. Because before that,
Okay.
because if you look in, there's pictures of the grandparents, Christine and Gary Senior. I always mixed that up. The Gary Senior, the grandpa, he and Christina, the grandma, they looked really good like a few years ago, and then they went really down real fast. So I don't know if it's because of Gary and Elizabeth moving in with the 16 kids. Well, at the time they didn't have 16 kids, but they do now. So, and they all lived in that room. I think they had access to the entire house because there's kid stuff everywhere. Like you have seen the videos of the house, right? And what it looked like inside. Have you seen those?
Yes, I have. I have seen like videos from the outside or like pictures
Hmm.
where it shows like the 4 little chairs, milk crates or whatever along
Right.
these
Yeah.
little chairs, and there's like trash everywhere.
And bugs and
Uh,
feces like thick on the stairs. Like it's just, I don't know.
I
But
mean, that's a lot of kids. 16?
yeah.
Were they all that one couple's children?
Yep.
Elizabeth and
Gary
what?
Jr. Yeah.
Junior? Okay.
Yeah. She got married at 15. She got pregnant at 15. And yeah. And yeah. The rest is history when it comes to that. But um it's a whole thing because is she a victim as well, because at 15 she was given away basically from by her mom to the family, and so she got married, and then who knows how she's lived in the last 20 years, like because I've spoken to Joey, and Joey has mentioned that she didn't have an easy childhood, and so she wanted to leave anyways. And so with the whole Gary Jr. thing, well, she just found a reason to leave. But so she's been abused her whole life. Now, whether or not she was with Gary, I don't know. We don't know. Nobody really knows, but they're all going through competency evaluations. Every one of them, all four of them. Um, and so, which is really good.
So
And
what,
especially,
what made this such a true crime um, grab, if you will? I mean, what about the case really makes it
yeah.
intriguing? What about this case?
Well, I would, for me, like I'm usually guided to certain cases, and I've always been like that. Like it won't cover every case. Like,
Okay.
what's her name? Clancy, Lauren Clancy, or whoever her name, Laura Clancy, whatever her name is. Sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't been following that case because I think the way that the children died, it's a different kind of story, right? Children died. The children haven't died in this case, but now they're all in foster homes and they're in therapeutic foster homes. So they're
Okay.
healing and everything. So that's good. But none of them are passed. So that's why I'll cover it because there's no death in it. But for the Laura Clancy, I can't. My empath, I can't. It's like animals and kids. I can't cover those stories. So I
Right,
just
right.
don't. But
I
this
get
one,
you.
just the fact that, like how did they let 16 kids live like that? That's basically my reason of like being gravitated towards this case.
So,
It's
are they going to be potentially charged with neglect and all that
That's
other
what the
stuff?
goal is. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do.
No.
Yeah. But Elizabeth's a whole other case though, because she's going to have two evaluations. She's going to have one for competency, whether or not she's fit to stand trial, and the other one is going to see if she's insane, like you know, insane basically, if she's
Right,
even sane
right.
at all, for her to allow this to happen to her kids. Are you aware of what you're doing? And whatever the case is, so they're going to run some tests, they're going to run some evaluations and everything for all of them, but she has that extra layer because she's the mom, right? She would have a say on what
Uh,
happens to the kids, but did Gary control her all these years? That's what's like quite like, if you've watched the booking video, just the way that she walks, like her body language is very submissive, and you can just tell that she's like been she's very standoffish. Like you can tell she shakes, and like her whole body trembles when she moves. But
so
it
is that the grandma?
no, Elizabeth, the
Uh,
mom, the mom. So Christina she's nonchalant, honestly. On the booking video, she seems unfazed or whatever the case is.
right.
Gary Jr. as well. He looks like he's arrogant, but I have a feeling that he controlled a lot of what Elizabeth could do. I think a lot of the times maybe she was like housebound with like the kids, they were running from town to town in Goliath. Oh, I always butcher the name if I don't have it in front of me. So, but very close to Hamden and Vinton County in Ohio. So very close to there. And they've moved around. So the truancy comes here. Um, the oldest six of all 16, they all went to school at first. And then something happened and they all just left school. So then the school board was like, hello, hello, like, where's your kids? Where's your kids? And they got no response. They couldn't find them. So they basically shut the book on that. So, but
Oh,
at
wow.
that point, they went to Hamden. So they've been running from, the school boards or whatever. We call it here school boards here in Canada, but, I don't know what it is there, but it's the same thing. So yeah,
Got
so
it.
that's where the truancy warrants came out. Um, so I don't know if that's what that parallel thing was to send them over there to begin with when they found the kids, because they weren't expecting to find that when they got there, you know. So, anyways,
Man,
the
that just sounds terrible too. I
yeah,
mean, because I've done social services, in the rural areas of East Texas, and people really don't understand, like in this rural areas. I'm talking about just in the middle of the woods type stuff. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it's
Hmm.
like, there's a lot of incest. There's a lot of
Yeah.
sexual abuse. There's a lot of all kinds of stuff just because, they don't ever really leave the compound that they've created at the family unit. So, and a lot of times, sorry about that, not
It's
my
okay.
camera over. A lot of times people say, well, why don't the kids say anything? Well, the kids might believe that this is normal. How are they supposed to know any different, right?
Right. Especially
How
the younger ones. They've been housebound this whole time. They don't know any better.
of course not. And
Yeah.
these people that are raising them, it's not like, they're, like you said, the mom is very submissive and stuff and probably
Hmm.
beat down a little bit. So, I mean, how much
Hmm.
of that was passed on to the kids? If you say something, we'll take this away, or we'll do this, or we'll do that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It's a very horrible experience. I can't imagine
Hmm.
living in something like that.
No, no, that's pure, just not okay. That's disgusting. But, it's just whether or not, what was happening in the house behind closed doors. That's
Right.
what, will they all turn on each other? I don't think so. But since then, the newest update is that Gary Sr., the grandpa, was bonded out. So now he's got a GPS on him and everything like that. But he's bonded out and he's staying with family. I have a feeling he's terminally ill, and so he was, because I don't know, the day that booking day, he fell and then he was in a wheelchair, like, or
Oh
no, sorry,
wow.
that was the day of his hearing. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. So the day of his hearing is whenever he fell, and he was transported to the hospital, and then later he was bonded out. Um, and so, but other than that, that's where we're at today.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
and another thing is, you're really not going to turn against the family. You're not
r-
going to go against the family. You know what I mean? It's like
right.
many times people think that why didn't the kid say anything, blah blah blah, all this stuff.
Right.
Um,
Well, they
well,
had
there's reason.
phones. They had phones. There's misinformation out there too about the kids not being able to write or, anything like that, or speak, for that matter. It's possible the younger ones couldn't speak at all. Who knows? They had no schooling, but the older six did, so they could
Yeah.
speak. And I did find Elizabeth Sider's YouTube channel from a long time ago, but only two of her children like uploaded videos on there. So they could clearly speak, those ones, but that was 10 years ago. So they would be 18 now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or whatever they were. It was 10 years ago. So if the kid was like 6, he'd be 16 now. But they all range from 18 months to 18 years old. And they all had, well,
So
a couple of them had phones.
let me ask you a question, Sonia. Um, just your impression, okay? Because that's all it is. It's your impression and
Yeah.
it's your thoughts. What what do you believe? Because you are a creator on YouTube and you are a creator on TikTok, and you do have a Facebook page as well, and I guess some other social media. But in your own thought pattern or your own words, what makes people so destructive and toxic on the internet?
Oh, we're
What do
flipping
you
the
what?
switch. We're going. Oh, I
Yeah,
don't. Yeah, I think self-respect or self-love. I think, honestly, when we really go deep, deep, if you don't love yourself, you're gonna be just angry, and you're just gonna take it out on the world. You're gonna take it out on people. You're gonna see people that have something you want. It's called envy. Jealousy. That's a sickness. It's not very healthy to be like that.
Okay. So do you believe that, they're really that miserable, or do you think that it's just a fan flocking together, like
Oh,
birds of a
that's
feather flock together, because it's on both platforms. I'm on both platforms, and I see it over there on TikTok just as vile at times as over here on YouTube.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, but everybody's opinionated too, as they should be. Everybody's allowed to have an
Of
opinion,
course, of
and you're
course.
allowed to change your opinion too, by the way. A lot of people say it's not like, I have a few people saying, "Oh, you were on the fence with Brian Kohberger." Yes, I was. And then until he pled guilty, I was no longer on the fence. So,
Right.
but um
I get a lot more love on TikTok
I
than
get a lot of
YouTube.
love on TikTok. Yeah.
I do too.
YouTube, YouTube, I get not much. I don't have much engagement overall on YouTube, which is fine. But on Facebook, that's where all the Karens are. All the
Yeah.
Karens are there. Oh my gosh. But no, but I get a lot of good ones on YouTube, on Facebook as well, though. I have to say.
So you
Not
get so you get a lot of very opinionated people on Facebook. You
Yes,
know,
good and
you're
bad. Good and bad.
you're on my crime page, so you notice I don't get very many comments at all. The people that like my stuff are the people that I personally know,
Yeah.
other creators, stuff like that. And I always wonder why that is. I'm like, that's weird because so many people that I know, man, they get attacked for their thoughts and beliefs. You think it could be because I mean, until recently, you were at CrimeCon and you spoke with Christy and you spoke with Steve.
Hmm.
Do you think instantly that put a target on your back a little bit?
No. No.
No.
No, I haven't had any no, I mean, I I was there. I mean, I wanted to go there. I don't
Right.
think that should get me a target on my back. I met Stephen Christie. I also met Gabby Petito's mom,
Right.
Nicole, and TJ, her brother. I met Brian Enton. I met a whole bunch of people. It was
Right.
a wonderful experience. So, but I mean, if it's going to give me a target on my back, well, I mean, that's not my problem.
I
Truly
meant
not.
that. I meant that by saying, there's a lot of uneducated people that believe certain stereotypes. I was
Yeah.
listening to one today, and it's almost like you create a stereotype. It's like let's say I was interested in this female, and she was being mean to me, and I was, this was an example kind of. Let's say that I was just hanging out with her, whatever, and she was very berating and all that stuff. To an outsider that I heard today, it would be because of jealousy, a
Yeah.
perception of jealousy,
Could be.
which that's a hard thing to prove. You know what I mean? That's a hard thing to prove.
Right.
People's actions are their actions. There doesn't always have to be a reason for it.
Right.
You can dislike people without having a reason. Have you ever met somebody? I don't think, you are that type of person, but I'm sure there's people that you don't like based on trying
Energy.
to like them and they showed you a different side. So
Yeah.
therefore it conflicted with your beliefs. So therefore you
Yeah.
keep them at bay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's happened to me a few times, and I'm very big on energy. I can even tell if I like somebody's energy online. I don't have to
Okay.
feel your energy like in person. I can just like feel your energy in your words, like how you speak, how you go about things. If I don't like your energy, like, and there's a lot of them, trust me. There's a lot of them that I don't freaking
Well,
like their energy. But,
well,
I love many energies as well. Like I have more that I love, but those that I don't love, well, I mean, they're there. Like, it's for sure people that I'll never fuck with. Um
right.
I don't have the energy. I'm not a drama person either. I hate the drama. I don't have time for it. Gives me anxiety. Although I do have my own thoughts on the people that I don't like, and that's it. I wish them well.
And as human beings, we do have that right. We're adults.
Yeah,
We're not
absolutely.
children. We're
I'm
not
almost
children.
50.
You know what I mean? It's like we're
Yeah.
adults.
Yeah.
But I see countless people, and this is on all platforms universally. So I'm
Right.
not making a blanket statement. I'm just saying I see a lot of angry people that you
Hmm.
post something like I posted something on TikTok the other night that was talking about Brian and him admitting guilt,
Yeah.
and somebody came to the comments and says that's bullshit. What was bullshit about it? You know what I mean? Like, what was
You got a
bullshit
pro
about
burger
what
on
I
your page.
right. I was like, I was trying to think, okay, because I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt, That's
Same.
just that's
Same.
just the therapist in me. So I'm like, okay, let me try to really get behind this statement and try to understand what they were saying without reacting. Because,
Right.
they could
What
have
was
been
bullshit
saying,
about it though?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't respond, but I was thinking to
I
myself,
would have asked. I would have asked what was bullshit about it.
I was
That's where
thinking
I
that. I
don't
was
hold
like,
back though. I'm pretty bad at answering my customers. I'm a customer service rep. Sorry,
yeah,
I'm pretty bad at like the people that comment on my stuff,
yeah.
and especially if they're rude, I'll be right rude back. I don't care. Like I mean, hey, you're commenting on my stuff when you don't know
Well,
me. If you did know me, you would know that I have a really good heart. I have no ill will behind anything that I say. And if I don't like someone, I will even be respectful about it. I'm not
right.
going to sit there and bash whatever their personals, anything personal of them or their anything like that. It's all a respecting on what they
I mean,
do, what
but
they put out.
think about that statement, Sonia, because that seems to be a prolific statement when it comes to the Idaho
Oh,
case.
yes,
That it's
absolutely.
that it's bullshit. That it's
Yeah,
that it's incomprehensibly misinvestigated,
right.
and it wasn't, because in the beginning, and I know your stand. That's why I invited you early on because you weren't one way or the other, and that was refreshing.
Yeah,
But in the beginning, I don't know if you remember at the very beginning, that was everything that was being pushed. There was no evidence. No
right.
evidence at all. There's
Yeah.
no evidence. This was
We still
even
had a
before
gag
Brian.
order. We still had a
Yeah,
gag
this was
order too,
before
so
Brian was even on the radar
mhm.
before, while they were doing their investigation.
Yeah.
That's what we heard, all over social media. There was people on TikTok, there was people, on YouTube, and there was no evidence, no evidence, no evidence. Okay, so,
Yeah.
and then we hear about the so many terabytes of data that they had and all this other stuff, so you're
Yeah.
thinking, okay, then there is some kind of evidence
Yeah.
because
There's
that's a
mhm.
lot of terabytes, you
Yeah.
know, it's a lot of terabytes to go through. And then you heard about the downloads on the phones and all this stuff. This is way before all the documents were released. You'd hear these little bits and
Mhm.
pieces. So at any point, did you ever think, at that point, did you think they're going to be able to piece this together to really eliminate a suspect or to 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 bring a suspect to the foreground based on what they have? How were you looking at the case very
Initially,
early
I
on?
very early on before they knew Brian on the radar, like what December 19th or whatever it was.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I honestly thought it was gonna go cold. Like I thought it was like, oh my
Okay,
god,
fair enough.
you're past like 48 hours. You don't know what the hell. So and then they came through with the car, and then on December 31st, Brian's been found. Like we've got our guy. So I don't know. I thought
I mean, I
initially it was
think
gonna go cold.
Steve thought that too. Remember, he was like, I'm not gonna let my daughter's case go cold. He
Yeah, good for him.
kept pushing,
Yeah. Yeah, I
he
respect
kept
that.
pushing. Of course,
Yeah.
but at the same time, man, 4chan and Reddit, and I used to go to Reddit to
Oh
read the
yeah.
updates, and
Oh
they were
yeah.
just relentless over there. Like it was
Mhm.
worse than any other social platform that I've been associated with. And there's some pretty bad ones, but on Reddit early on, man, they were fighting about, how could the 8 hour thing hit off like that very early on? The 8 hour
Oh,
thing.
for
People
me
could
too.
not,
That's yeah. I did
people could not
question
get
Dylan
over it.
at that time for like that moment when initially when it all came out. I'm like, "Oh."
Right. I think we all did. I think we all had that
For a second.
question.
Yeah. Mhm.
Of course. I mean, who we all did have these questions. There was no there was no kind of press conferences being had every day. We
Yeah.
waited what 3 days for the first one to even take shape. So,
Yep. Mhm.
so 8 hours when you find out 8 hour that they called 911 in 8 hours. It took them 8 hours to call 911. And initially, we were told that Dylan was sleeping on the bottom floor. You remember
Right.
that?
First floor.
That
Yep.
both
Mhm.
of those two were on the bottom floor.
That's right.
So and supposedly, very early on, we were told that she had screamed up the stairs and it said, "Shut the f up! I'm trying to
Yep.
sleep."
Yep.
So in my mind, this is how I saw it because you saw the house, and I
Yep.
thought to myself because they were saying the basement, right? They were saying the
Yeah.
basement.
Yeah. The
So I
ground
thought
level.
these,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought these girls were in a basement level, and there was a staircase going up the middle of both of those rooms, and she would have, yelled up the stairs, "Shut the, I'm trying to
Yeah.
sleep."
Right.
Okay, so that was where my mental picture was. And then, it changed. No, she wasn't on the bottom floor. She was on the
Right.
second floor. And
Mhm.
people were showing all over the place, photos of, well, this is Dylan's room. It's on the second floor. And this is, you can tell by, the electric socket and blah, 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 and all this other stuff.
Oh yes.
So then people started really attacking Dylan. Bethany has never gotten the heat that
No.
Dylan had. And I don't understand why. She didn't call 911 either. And I'm not trying to bash her right now. I don't want you to think that.
No.
But
No,
she
no,
has
no,
never,
absolutely not.
she has never had to answer those hard questions. Why? Because she wasn't the one that ID'd the
That's
individual that
right.
walked through.
I think that's
I
the only
mean,
reason really that
you,
yeah. But I
okay.
mean,
Tell me
I
about
don't
that.
know.
Tell me about that.
I think it's only because she didn't physically see him, like you said. Um, and she was downstairs. Everything happened on a second and third floor. Allegedly never went downstairs. However, how did that front door get open? How did it get open? And why was it still open in the morning when that guy was walking his dog? You know? So that and then wouldn't they feel the cold air in Bethany's room? Because at this point they're in Bethany's room, right? Um, so I find that weird. And then the whole Murphy thing, don't even get me started on that. I don't even know what happened to that poor boy. Um, I can't really talk about Murphy too much because I'll start to cry. Um,
Right.
every time I talk about Murphy, I cry. Like I just and then I
But
ugly cry.
let's be honest, okay? Let's be honest. At this point in 2026,
Right.
we can ask the question, what caused the front door to be open? But we can also be smart enough and say, you know what? There was there was no evidence on that front door of any DNA that we know of
Absolutely
anybody.
not. It wasn't even used, but
So,
so who opened it though? Like who
right.
opened it? Yeah.
If Dylan's DNA was found on the front door, it should have been there, right? if Bethany opened the front door,
Yeah,
her DNA should have been there.
right.
I always thought in the very beginning, this is my thought, and people call me crazy and they call me idiotic and everything. All the names under, in the book. I don't care. But
Right.
I always thought, you know what? This was a party house. That's what they described it as.
You're right.
You're telling me that nobody arrived throughout the night, went through the front door, maybe called out to people, didn't get any response, didn't close the front door all the way, and it
Hmm.
blew open.
Hey, that's a good idea. Good thought. Good analogy, because it was a party house. So I mean, that could have, and like there was a bunch of people at Banfield. So who knows if they were coming, from there or not.
So,
Although that would have
I mean,
been, that was at 312 though. Hold on. That was
I've
at
always
312.
thought, with all the people in and out all night long, you're telling me on that night nobody came into that home after Brian, even before Brian or
Before
after Brian
Brian.
left?
I think
These-
before Brian, but because we've never found out if we want to go there, we've never really found out whether or not the front door was open. We've never known at like let's say 312, because that's when we see a bunch of kids at Banfield. So if it is 312 and there's one of those kids or a bunch of those kids went in just to see, hey, blah, 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 and
What's
then
up? Yeah.
and then just left, like you said, then because we've never been told whether or not that door was open and what time it was open at. All we know is that the guy walking his dog in the morning noticed that it was open at 8:30, and then again whenever he was walking home.
So if it was open at 8:30 and Brian came back to the area from 9:11 to 9:32, I think it was, at 21 minutes, there had to be some kind of, did he go and just drive up along Walenta?
Oh yeah, but he was going back
Or,
and forth, right? Wellenta down, well,
yeah,
down
because
Taylor and back, just a circle.
they never said that he went back to the home. They said he was back in the area. He was back
Area.
in Moscow.
Yeah.
He was back in Moscow, and there's that video footage of him coming by that A&W, and you see it clear as day. You see the
Mm-hmm.
Elantra,
Yep.
but you don't see him. So what was he doing from 9:11 to 9:32? Those 21 minutes have
Waiting to
all.
see if EMS would show up or something, maybe.
But where was he? Where did he park? You get what I'm
He
saying? Did
he
they
could have been
get?
on Wellenta.
Well, is there camera images or? And see, these are the things that we don't have.
No,
If
well, there's a
if
lot of things we
indeed
don't
he
have, but
if indeed he came back to the area, which we're told he was, 9:11, 9:32, 21 minutes. Where did he park and what was he doing for those 21 minutes? Because obviously his phone was on because they were getting pings.
yeah.
They
Oh
were
yeah.
able to ping and, to get the mapping and
Hmm.
everything, or because that's what Sai said. He came back to
He
the
did.
area.
Yeah. He did.
And that's in the documents also. I remember
Yeah.
reading that.
Yeah.
So nobody ever talked about those 21 minutes. It's almost like, oh, he was, he went south of Moscow and he went home and he stayed home the rest of the day, the rest of the night, which is not true. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
not
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. I don't
So
know what he
if
was
that
doing.
guy saw the front door open at 8:32 or somewhere around there, then that front door was open when Brian came through. If he indeed
Yes. Yes, it
if
would have
he
been.
indeed did drive around the area, you know what I mean?
Right. Huh.
And if 1112 caught him at night, you don't think they have footage of him during the day? If he did go down Queen Road and did a
Yeah,
circle around,
1112. Yeah, I don't yeah, I don't That's wild though now that now that you're mentioning that, because where would he have parked? Could he have parked near like Linda Lane? Do you think? And then
there's
walked
so
over?
many there's so many cameras around there. And maybe
I
that's what
know. I know.
when Steve was talking about, well, we have a camera that shows him entering the house and leaving the house. And I've always wondered about
When
that.
did they say that? Sorry, I've never heard that.
Steve said that very early, before any of this stuff came
That there's
out,
footage of the guy walking in the house and out of the house.
that there's footage of Brian supposedly walking in and exiting the residence. So I wonder,
Okay.
is this during that time of the 9/11 to 9/32? That was 21 minutes. And I keep saying that because I made such a big deal of that one live that I did, because 21 minutes. Okay. He ran a 16-minute mile.
Mm-hmm.
So could he have parked a mile away, ran to the residence, 5 minutes to, look around up there?
Oh, I mean, he could have parked
Because there are
anywhere. I mean, you can pull
there
up
are
a map around the
there are
area. We can
staircases
look over.
that go up to Walenta.
Yeah. What can you show a map?
Yeah, there's
Right.
stairs in between.
Yes, I know.
Do what?
Yeah. Yeah, like cuz I'm visual, but I
Yeah,
already know I know the entire area. I already know that there's like the stairs going from Taylor. He could have parked on Taylor too, who knows, but um the stairs between
but
Taylor and
anywhere that he parked, think about this, Sonia, and I'm not trying to convince you anyway, okay? But think
Mhm.
about this. If he parked a mile away, wherever it was, somewhere caught him on camera, because they were investigating
If
camera
that's what
footage
happened, yeah.
from a
I think he
liquor
just
store,
drove around, honestly. I think he just
from
drove
a
around. I don't
liquor
think
store.
yeah.
Well, yeah, he could have driven around Indian Hills, Walenta, all that area up there, and been able
Mhm.
to see if there was any cops, ambulances, or any of
Right.
that. Because the thought of him putting himself back into that area at that time, and then going home and taking the thumbs up photo at
Yeah,
10:30.
that was at 10:30, yeah. Mhm.
So, see, I'm a timeline person, because timelines tell a lot.
Yes, they do.
Because you can't lie about a timeline. And
No.
that's why the timeline has been so argued in this case for so long, because you got to be able to put him at certain places. And according to certain experts, he was able to be placed at this point, at this point, at this point.
Mhm,
His
mhm.
phone was placed at this point.
Yeah,
What
and he
intrigued
yeah.
me is if they knew from 9/11 to 9/32, if indeed he was in the area, that means he had his phone on.
Yeah, at
That
that
means
time,
his
yeah.
phone.
Yeah, he did.
So the phone and the car would have been traveling at the same speed, the same distance.
Yeah, and that's what Cyray said. Yeah,
Yeah.
he said it was matching. I believe what Cyray said. I know a lot of people are going back and forth and saying that he changes stories and stuff, but I think that no, he didn't. Either people just didn't really listen to what he said and misconstrued it and like twisted it a little bit, or selective hearing happens, but I
I mean,
do think
honestly, do you believe that people ever listen to what's said by experts?
no, they'll think that
Oh,
experts don't know what the hell they're talking about, but I mean, you do. Okay. But I not you. I mean those people that think that those
right, right.
experts don't know what they're talking about.
I want to talk about this because I showed this last night, and this is the only place that I could get a little bit of this, because I don't know who that other person is that everybody's
Who's
showing
this?
it now.
This is this is the
This
girl
is
you told me about today, right?
Yeah, this is the professor.
Okay. I
Amelie
don't know
Signal.
anything about this situation, so I'll be learning.
So, do you remember when the paperwork started coming out, and there was a professor that said,
Oh, he's a
we need
pedophile. If we let him out, he'll be a pedophile. Or if we don't, yeah, yeah. Okay, I remember that.
this is
He'll.
her. This is
Oh,
her.
that's her. Okay. I mean, good
Yeah.
for her for speaking up.
So all along, I thought it was a male professor that was doing this, but it wasn't. It's her.
No,
She's the one
mhm.
that spoke up on it. But
Wow.
listen to what she says about him. And there's been a lot of conjuncture about this
Is this her
person.
speaking though?
And
It's her speaking, or is it?
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
it's
Good.
her
Okay.
inter it's
Okay.
her part of the interview with the police.
Oh,
And
okay.
And there's been a lot of conjecture where people have tried to think what she was thinking, know what she meant, know what her words meant, and some kind of it's always those, well, this is the type of person she is, and she's a
Ugh.
crappy person, and why would she say that or do that as
See,
a professor or blah blah blah. And one thing before I play this, and I meant to say this last night, but I'm going to say it again tonight. I've had this happen to me from people that are uneducated and don't understand the differences between professionalism and personal life.
right.
She's speaking as a professional right now.
Okay.
It is your job to, when you're asked by the police these questions, it is your job as a professional to answer them honestly. There is no confidentiality at that point. There's
Right.
no kind of, well, why are you saying that because you're a professor or you're a counselor, you're this, that, and the other. Well, when you're asked a question, your best impression of the answer is going to be the most truthful. They're
Hmm.
trying to get some kind of understanding about Kohberger, and she's going to tell you a little bit. Okay, I'm going to put the
Good.
captions on. That way you can understand her because she has a thick Canadian accent.
Well, I'm Canadian, so that's
So
okay.
much. And this is brought to you by Viviana. So here we go. And they were saying, people were attacking her Canadian-ish because obviously, Canadians
Oh,
have
that's
a,
where that came from. See, I don't
yes,
know. Ugh. All right.
yes.
Well,
So
they're
here we
gonna
go.
hate me, and I don't give a fuck.
Here, here we go.
All
right
right.
before the Christmas break, at which time we did not know any of this. And we discussed every single one of our grad students. And he was the one that took the most time because he was highly problematic. And here's what I told my colleagues. I told them he is smart enough that in 4 years we will have to give him a PhD. Like, he was not failing. He was not doing great, but he was like academically where you would expect a first year PhD student to be. But I said, mark my word, I work with predators. If we give him a PhD, that's the guy that in that many years when he's a professor, we will hear is harassing, stalking, and sexually abusing of his, I thought would be his students at wherever university he ended.
So hearing her say that,
Mm.
what's your thought on
She
that?
sounds French. Yeah. Ouais, je la comprends. Moi aussi, je suis française. Mais, sorry, I won't talk in French, but, okay, so, yeah, she was a professor there, so she would know based on, she just said, "I've worked with predators." She knows what to look for. She knows the signs, the traits, whatever, whatever it is. She knows that. She's seen it. And so he gave her that ick. He gave her that energy. He gave her that she followed her gut. And look, she ended up being right. So what the hell? Like, I don't know what's
Well,
going on with people. Like, I haven't really watched anything in regards to people that bashing this girl, but I mean, she
you missed
knows.
a lot. You missed a lot because there's been
I
plenty.
choose not to go there because, well, first of all, I don't have time, and if I'm going to invest my time on things, they're going to be things that I really enjoy watching,
Right.
so but I'm sad to think that, like, people are bashing this girl. Like, I mean, she's clearly saying facts of on what she knows, and she's not wrong. Again, she's just not wrong.
So let me give you a different perspective as well. I just recently got my bachelor's last July. Okay.
Hmm.
I had instructors that were not the kindest. They were the harshest graders. They really were. And at no time did I personalize any of that.
Right.
She was saying in the interview that Brian wouldn't shut the fuck up, that he was always argumentative and that he always had to be the first one to answer the question.
Right.
And as another student, that is annoying as shit. You don't think other students complained to her? I said, you know what? Can you tell him to shut up? We're trying to learn from you, not from him.
Or they want to answer a question too to learn for themselves too, but he's always cutting in and wants to answer. Like other people want to answer. Can I fucking talk? Can I,
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with him wanting to answer if he knew the answer and nobody was answering. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the fact that people believe that this was almost like a significant degrading of Mr. Kohberger based on his academic progress being stalled by this lady because she said what she said. Well, you know what?
they
I
weren't
have
great, but
two degrees. I have
yeah.
2 degrees, one licensure. One of them is a therapist. Okay, so while going through counseling classes and everything else, you believe that this lady was harsh. You know what? Part of their job is to give you almost a psychological impression to see how you're going to react to things.
Right.
Because if you react to things like somebody that you're learning about, you don't think that's going to be a red flag?
That's
Like
it. Yeah.
if he would have reacted angrily, he would have threatened her or threatened some other people. And we've heard that
Yeah.
he was not a nice guy.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care whether people believe that or not. We've heard
No, he hated
in
women and it was
documents
clear.
and legal documents that he followed women to the cars.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
trapped women
Yeah.
in an
In the
office.
office. Yeah. Stood by their desk and the pool party once. I don't know if you remember that one. There was a
Yeah.
married woman with her husband, a woman there with her husband. Brian was flirting with her or trying to, and then she's like, no, like my husband's right there, and he kept doing it. So the husband had to go tell him, like, I forget that part, but I think the husband went over to Brian and told him, get away from my wife. Like, fucking creep. And then obviously, all those passes that he did at 1122, and supposedly, I don't know if you knew this, but Ray on one of his interviews, I think this was with Brian Enton and Steve Gonzalez, which was a great interview. Um, he said that in August, August, the first weekend after school started, Brian Kohberger pinned at the same area that Maddie and Kaylee did in Pullman at a sorority party, he believes. So don't quote me on that because I quoted Ray, but he's not sure either. He's not sure if it was a sorority party, but he's pretty sure it was that. And so Brian was very close to there, but then he ended up going closer. He went literally to the same ping, like same area as they were.
Yeah.
So
And I remember seeing that interview. We'll pull it up here in a minute. I don't believe that Brian Enton would care.
Brian
Um,
Enton's a real
but
goat. I love him.
you're friends with Brian now. You're like,
Well,
you're
I
in with
can't
the
say
A
I'm friends with
crowd.
him. Like he hasn't
Yeah,
added back or nothing
you're
or
in with
any.
you're in with the A crowd. You can kind of smooth it
Well, I
over.
mean, I have a lot of respect for them. They do
I
true
do too.
crime well, and that's how I want my true crime to be, is to be truly advocating for, and I need to say this, sorry, I'm gonna have to say this. I'm
You're
truly
fine.
advocating for victims in whatever the case is, and I'm not being disrespectful to their families. Like there was a moment when I didn't like the Gonzalez's, but that was because of the Samantha thing. Anyways, whatever. I'm over that, like way over that. So, and I love them to death now. And never going back. But at CrimeCon, you learn what true crime truly is. And on TikTok, very toxic in the true crime community, I have to say. Very fucking toxic. And um I'm not going to pinpoint anybody because I mean if the shoe fits, wear it. But when you go on TikTok and you're literally harassing and bashing and bullying other people, And that's what you thrive on doing. That's what you end up, and you even get someone arrested because you've been harassing them so much, and you fake a call, you fake a conversation with said person, and you know, whatever. There's a whole thing that I wish I could say, but I'm not going to say the whole thing. But true crime on
Yeah.
TikTok is very, if you're not going to be like in for the victims, then don't talk true crime, because you're not there for true crime. You're there to bully, you're there to harass, and you're there to, well, cyberbully, and then even make fake calls to the cops and stuff. Like, just give it up. Like, oh,
Wow.
like, it's really toxic. So people like that, like people that call themselves true crime with da 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 or whatever you are, like, you know, and but you're not advocating for victims, and you're on the dark side of TikTok, true crime, I would say, it's just not cool. It's not cool at all. True crime's not about that. You, me, the Gonzalez's, News Nation, everybody that was at CrimeCon, everybody views true crime the same. Like, we all have respect for it, and we're not going to go out there and make like games on the Idaho 4. Did you know
Right.
that on Etsy there's like a game on of the Idaho 4? I think I told you this before.
I remember you saying that.
It's
Well,
wild.
let's listen to this part again, Sonia, because we've heard about this and it's rattled a bunch of feathers. It really
This
has,
one, which
because
one?
this that I'm about to play.
Okay.
She says we had a faculty meeting right before the Christmas break. So this
Okay.
was right before he took off to Pennsylvania. They had a
Yep.
faculty meeting. So listen to what she says.
Okay.
Break, at which time we did not know any of this. And we discussed every single one of our grad students. And he was the one that took the most time because he was highly problematic. And here's what I told my colleagues. I told them, he is smart enough that in 4 years we will have to give him a PhD. Like, he was not failing. He was not doing great, but he was like academically where you would expect a first-year PhD student to be. But I said, mark my word, I work with predators. If we give him a PhD, that's the guy that in that many years when he's a professor, we will hear is harassing, stalking, and sexually abusing of his, I thought would be his students at wherever university he ended. Because there was a performance issue in terms of TAing, a couple of us made the argument that that was the time to cut his funding and get him out, because otherwise he was smart. I think that's probably the closest I can say to what my appraisal was of him as a person before we knew any of this. I thought he was a different type of creep. I really kind of missed it in that lens, but he was stalking people. Like, and my thing was like, if we give him a PhD and he gets to be a professor, can you imagine what being a student of him would look like?
He was late or absent for any class taught by.
So,
Yeah.
no.
Wow.
So hearing that, okay,
Yeah.
hearing that, what did your thought? Tell me what your thought is.
Oh, but he's still so lovely, isn't he? To so many people still love him. That is so telling. She knew it. She's like, he's stalking people. Like, she knew a lot of stuff. Was he stalking her? Like, that maybe she had, like, I don't know, who knows? But I mean, she knew a lot.
I've heard people say that,
You've heard people talk
she
about her,
was,
so you can answer this.
it's like I was listening to one creator earlier, and she was talking about, how this person graded, and she brought up the grading stuff, and that she didn't have anything good about her from her student about her. Well, I've always heard if people like you, you're not doing your job.
Right.
Like we used to say in the prison, if you don't get a grievance, you're not doing your job. Because you're not meant to be friends with these people in a professional capacity.
Right.
They're paying for an education. You're supposed to be giving them your best and preparing them for a life in the criminal justice field, which is not an easy task. It
Right.
is not, oh my God, you hurt my feeling because you're this type of boss, or you're this attorney, you hurt me because you came at me a certain way. No. You're supposed to be tough enough to take criticism at
Right.
any point of your adult life. And if you can't, and you must resort to name calling and berating and making these made up accusations about certain people, you
Hmm.
know, supposedly she only knew Brian for 4 months, right?
Yeah.
And I heard this one creator talk about only 4 months. She knew him 4 months. She didn't even know him. Well, 4 months is 4 months longer than any of us known Brian.
Right. Exactly. She
She,
lived it. She
she
knows.
actually, yeah, she actually interacted with the guy.
Right. And she felt his
You're,
energy.
you're a female. You're a female.
Yes.
Have you ever had somebody that gave you the creeps?
Oh yeah, many. A lot. A lot.
So, so you saying that they gave you the creeps? Was it because you were inferior to them because they wanted you and you didn't want them back, so therefore you were going to make up a lie about them?
No, 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 no. They were literally just creeps. Like I
No,
got no, no. I wouldn't make a lie about someone.
but that's been insinuated that the
Well,
reason
that's
that this lady did talking shit about Brian
but she
is
talked this
because
before he was even arrested. So
right,
and she has a faculty to be there as her witness, if so be it. She has a faculty meeting. They had a faculty meeting. She's got people who witnessed her saying this, and then
that,
ta-da,
that's a good point. That was
you know?
before he was that was,
Right.
that was before he was arrested.
And she just
So
stated that in the thing too. She just said, "Well, we didn't know that at the time because we had our thing before Christmas break, so she wouldn't have known that." Anyways, so I
So it
mean,
wouldn't could it I mean, would it have been a personal attack toward Brian because she was a teacher and she felt inferior to Brian?
yes, I mean she could have because he might have made her feel that way too. If everything she's saying about him is true, then he probably already made her feel that way, and
Well,
people probably went up to her.
there was 11 other people that came forward
Right,
and
13 in
felt the
total, right?
same.
13 or 14?
Yeah, and
13,
think
yeah.
about this. People always get stuck on this. How come there's all these people that always have something bad to say about him? How come there's never anybody coming out of the woodwork other than on YouTube
Talking nice about him.
talking nice about him and on
You're not
TikTok?
gonna get any. Even
So if
Josh
that if that
Herrero, he didn't.
if that doesn't surprise you, I don't know what would.
No, I
I've
mean,
I've talked about that way, way long ago. The dude had no kind of connections.
he had no contacts either. Like no contacts, but mother and father.
It's sad, actually. It really is. And I said this last night, and I'm going to say it again tonight. It's actually sad that there was nobody that stepped in to keep this from happening. Nobody cared enough about him, or him caring enough about himself, that he couldn't have went a different way. If he recovered from heroin, he should have tried harder to recover from all those voices in his head that was
Yeah.
telling him he needed to go kill somebody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's had those thoughts since that article that he did, that little blurb with the visual snow and I'm no one, whatever, I have nobody, whatever the hell he was writing. I have it on my hard drive here. But
Yeah, where
he's
he
been
talked about
feeling
this
like that.
being a sack of meat. That's what he was
Yeah,
saying.
exactly. Yeah, he's talked down on himself for a long time, so he's definitely been in a dark place for a very long time, probably. I don't think he ever came out of it. Um,
And I can see his supporters why they feel as strong as they do. Because if you look at their lives, if you look at the way they present themselves across from the camera, they don't have self-esteem. They have victimization.
Yeah.
Each one
Yeah.
of their stories, they have been a victim of somebody else's being more powerful than them, and they have never been able to figure it out how to
Yeah.
overcome that to be on a level playing field other than
hmm
to advocate for a quadruple murderer. This
Right.
has made countless people on an equal playing field. It's almost like going to school on your first day and you don't have new clothes, you don't have new shoes, you're stinky kid, whatever. So all of a sudden, somebody gives you hand me downs, and I'm not talking bad about anybody, okay? But all of a sudden, you get that fake self esteem that you're better than anybody that's
Yeah.
ever made fun of you. Or let's take
hmm
Brian's case. He was the fat kid, was bullied.
Right. Yeah, but then
You don't
he got
think
skinny
that
and then he started
them
bullying, right?
losing, of course, that's what's been suggested that he became the bully.
Right.
But you don't believe that he always wore a chip on his shoulder?
Oh yeah.
That I'm going to show every,
hmm
especially if it was women or girls that were bullying him. Think about being bullied by a girl, being a fat boy. I mean, think about that concept. You got a cheerleader, whatever, high level girl, and she's bullying a fat kid. Well, I'm going to get her one day. I'm going to lose weight. And I'm going to show her that I'm better than her.
hmm
Blah blah blah.
I mean,
All that
people deal
bullshit.
with that all the time. Do people do
All
that
that,
all the time? Sadly, it happens.
of course. But a lot of those people never grow out of that. And it's inner child stuff that is traumatic.
Right.
And unless people know about the inner child stuff, they're clueless to believe that there's actually trauma that goes along with people. The moment
Yeah.
you start using substances, you emotionally stop growing. So even though he did stop, think about how long his growth emotionally was stunted. His
Right.
thought process was warped.
Right. Yeah.
If he kept going this direction, eventually, how could he not become a killer? How could he not broke?
Right.
Nina and I had talked about the ego depletion. When your ego gets depleted enough,
Yeah. hmm
you become that alter person that wants that power and control back.
Yeah.
So you try to get it any way possible. Well, he was always known by people that we've heard about to want to be the smartest person in the room.
Yep.
He was always berating to women. He was always over talking people and wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Right. Arrogant as well.
Have you ever had somebody like that in your life?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's, that's always corrected you, always like made you feel like you were not as smart as them, that they were on a higher level than you because maybe you saw them as if I don't get them first, they're going to start calling me fat or they're going to make fun of my jeans or they're going to do this and that.
Yeah. Not really. I've been in relationship where it was like emotional, where nothing I said mattered, I guess, but I wasn't like I wasn't called names or anything. In high school, I've been talked down on, like
Yeah.
been called multiple names, but I mean, in my adult years, not really. Only online trolls, but still, they call me grandma. I mean, it's not that
Grandma?
bad. Yeah,
Grandma?
yeah. I don't even have kids.
Why?
But anyways, yeah. So, but I can't say I can relate to what he's felt and what he's dealt with too much. So I can't put myself in those shoes. But I mean, I can imagine,
But think
like,
of the body image dysmorphia, right? Do you know what
yeah,
that is?
well,
Okay.
yeah, I deal with that. I have that. So,
Okay. Think of the photo that we've seen of him.
yeah.
We saw a photo of him in those blue jeans
Yep.
looking at himself from the back.
Yes. I was
That
just
is
thinking
all
that
about
photo.
body. That
Yeah.
is all about body image.
Yes.
The photo with him posing with shirt off, posing with the camera up, all
Yeah.
about body image, all
Yeah.
about power and control, and having to give himself that perception that he wasn't the fat kid anymore.
Right.
He
Yeah.
wasn't the fat kid.
No.
So, and people wonder how come that is such an issue. But think about that. If you've ever been overweight and you lost that weight and you did it because you wanted to be that hot chick all of a sudden that you were going to get back after everybody who's ever made fun of you or whatever, or vice versa with Brian.
Yeah.
Everybody who never gave you a shot, everybody who always called you fat and blah, 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 all this, that, and the other. But when you lose all that weight, there's some people that aren't able to transition changing their whole lives. They still stay stuck in that inner child stuff that is very traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
And they replay and they reenact these in other ways. I mean, we don't know hardly anything about his childhood. We don't know anything about the formative years. We don't
Right.
know any of that.
Right.
So that's what I would want to know, the formative years. What really occurred with him losing the weight, and how did he go from being, how was he as a person?
Yeah.
We've heard people say, well, he was kind, he was funny, he liked to laugh and all this. Okay, that's good. That's good. But at what point did it turn from that to being the bully himself? He turned into everything he despised.
Right.
And then we also heard that, he was harassing women.
Right.
Once again, in a program. He got
Yes, that's
removed
right.
from that program.
Right.
We heard that he used to go to a local hangout or something, drink beer.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania, he got kicked out. The seven something, the seven sisters. Yeah, seven sisters. The club.
And people had a name for him on, the
Mm-hmm.
manager had to step up
Yeah.
and say, hey, quit harassing my staff.
Yep.
And he answered abruptly, suggestively, I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because it seems like every moment of power that is trying to be stripped from Mr. Kohberger, his alter ego that he's created, stepped to the forefront
Yeah.
and says, no, I'm not going to let you bully me. Even though nobody's bullying him, but in his mind,
Mm-hmm. He might
if
have
you're
been a
not with,
paranoid guy too. He could have been paranoid as
of
well.
course, if you're not
Mm-hmm.
with him, you're against him.
Yeah.
I mean, to a lot of people, rejection is rejection. I was talking to Jules about that the other day. Rejection, certain people handle it one way, while other people totally go off the deep end.
Oh gosh, I know, right?
I mean, they go off the deep end. I've heard
Yeah.
of, I've had female friends that have told me that men stalk them, they harass them, they show up when they're not wanted, they don't
Mm-mm.
take no for an answer, they just keep coming back and keep coming back. And some of these women have even had to put restraining orders on these men because these men will not take the hint that they are not interested.
Right. Yeah.
Is that not tragic?
It is. Absolutely. I mean, but it all stems from like self-love as well. Like I said earlier, like
I like it.
you have to love yourself to not take that as like, oh my God, that's the end all be all, whatever. It's not. Like, I mean, there's a lot of fucking fish out in the sea, like you
Right,
can find somebody that will like you eventually. Like I don't think any what he did needed to happen unless he was just out wanting to do this and then he just picked the house. I don't think he just picked the house. I know he was like, oh, I know. He was after either Maddie or Kaylee, and I think it was Maddie, but um like he was definitely onto them and he was stalking them. Um you know And Kaylee perhaps as well. Maybe both. I think he was stalking both because Kaylee
So
thought
how
she had.
so how is it possible that many people make this impression that Dylan had a crush, and this is other people's words, it's not my words, that Dylan had a crush on Kaylee,
I never heard of that.
and
Huh.
and the reason that she played a role is because Maddie was in the way of that.
I've
So
never
if they
even
can,
heard of that. That's
yeah, it's been out there. It's been out there.
that's a theory as to Dylan had a crush on Kaylee and because Maddie got in the way. Oh my god. Oh god. That's the stupidest
So,
fucking thing I've ever heard.
but
Anyways.
yeah,
Oh shit. I'm sorry. You're stuck. You're frozen, I think. I think I broke your your StreamYard. You're stuck. You're coming back now. Hold on. Guys, do you hear him or yeah, I never heard that one either, eh, Chris? Sorry, Gage, you're like totally stuck. I can't hear you at all. Maybe like you're frozen in time. I don't know if it's just for me or everybody. Oh, okay. You don't see him either, Chris? I hear a little robot in the background. Oh, okay. He's going to come back, you guys. Yeah. Yes, definitely. Hi, Jeff. Let me see. I just noticed the comments. Yes, that's right. Stuff put in there. Hey, Chris. Yeah. Hey, guy. Yeah. That's right. Exactly, Jeff. Where is he? Hello. He's brewer a few times and female staff often complain about his behavior. Yeah, that was at the brewery. Yes. He was not liked there. He just wasn't liked at all. Like, yes, we have a problem. I'm Sony D. Follow me on TikTok, Sony D78. Thank you, Chris. I like coming live with him. It's really cool. We talk about all kinds of stuff. Go from one thing to the next usually, but I like it. Hello, Gage. I think he just needs to like come back into the live. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Great. I don't even go live on my own channel. I could though, but I don't. I'm too shy to do that. Well, live, yeah. I'm too shy to go live per se. Maybe this is helping my with my public speaking, let's say. I have public speaking fears and stuff. So this is kind of like public speaking. So any questions for Sonia? Go for it. I'm all here until he comes back. It's so quiet. Oh goodness. I should go in a private chat just to see. Okay, no. So anyways, yes. I don't know what's going on in the whole true crime community right now. I don't keep up. I don't keep tabs, but I guess there's going to be hearing, perhaps, for Brian Kohberger's guilty plea? Oh yeah, I hope so. If the evidence presents itself that he is absolutely guilty, like yes, he took the easy way out, right, Jeff? So he's like, oh, okay, I'll just plead guilty to avoid the death penalty, and then oh fuck, prison's not it's not at all what it's cracked up to be. Well, now he wants to try. Well, he better get on the stand. By the way, he better get on the stand. I've been posting about that. He better take the stand if he's gonna want to do this and want to prove his innocence. Yeah, and if he does, and the evidence actually presents itself and the jury finds him guilty, I'll be even more happy than I was when he pled guilty. Because this way, the evidence has presented itself and he's definitely guilty. Yes. And I hope he gets the firing squad if he is guilty. Like truly guilty. We need to see the evidence, right? We need to, we'll never see it for ourselves, but the jury will. And that's what matters, the jury. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But you know what? Maybe he just doesn't give a fuck either. Like 12 gauge and I were saying, like, he probably just doesn't care. No, exactly. Nobody did anything to him. Like no one. Like none of them knew him, right? Like personally, unless and I've always said that. I don't know, Jeff, if you agree with that, or Chris or whatever. I don't know who else is in here, but Mad Greek. Like I strongly think that he could have met Maddie and Xana at Mad Greek because they had vegan options and he was vegan. And yes, I think he just wanted to hurt women as well. I'm a big Brian was an incel type of girl here, based on Elliot Rodger. But in the Netflix documentary, they did specifically point that out where it wasn't confirmed that he was an incel. They have no evidence of that. But at the same time, they did say that he was pretty good at covering his tracks, deleting his history, using incognito, stuff like that. So he wasn't easily traceable in what he was doing. Some searches were found, obviously, as we know. But I don't know. I'm very excited. If there is a trial, I'm very excited about it. Right. Exactly. Using his skills. He knew what the hell he was doing. He knew what to go in with, what equipment to go in with that essay that he did. He had in there, boots and whatever, gloves and a whole bunch of stuff, right? He knew exactly what to bring into a crime scene to cover his tracks. I think he did all of the above. All of that. I think he did it all. I definitely think he would be trying to help the prosecution in finding the killer. 100%. Yeah. But then if he didn't do it, who did? Right? Who did? Oh, yeah, but you know what? Josh Ferrero said that he talked about Elliot Rodger a few times. There he is. Yay! Oh, I'm so glad you're back. You had to change what?
I had to change internet server and everything, reboot my computer. I don't know what the hell happened. It's like I got booted from the stage.
That's okay. Well, I've been holding down the fort. So what I was talking about basically is the whole fact of the Netflix documentary saying that Brian there was no evidence of him being an incel, things like that, where I always thought that he gave me that ick. And I was just saying that Josh Ferrero told one of the Idaho specials that Brian used to talk about Elliot Rodger, which was an incel, the king of incels. So, it is possible he was, but there was just no evidence because he used incognito to search online. So as soon as you close the window, it doesn't keep your search history, right? So,
Right.
anyways, yeah. So we were talking about a few things. So you can go back on the live and check it out. But yeah. So did you want to watch a video? Let's get there, I guess.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna be off camera. I don't know what's going on over here, but let's watch
Okay.
this video for a minute and then we'll
Sure.
comment on it, all right?
Yep.
Here we go.
On the case on the inside and has really unique information and data to back it up that I hadn't heard before. So I'm going to get into all of it. Again, it's a long convo, but I think you guys will find it interesting, especially in light of everything.
Responsive on these questions and drag it out a little bit. So if I'm going on and on, stop me.
Yeah, you can do that on this. We have unlimited time, so feel free.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 100%, like I'll make myself available to the family, by the way, 24/7. Like if you guys have follow-up questions going forward, by all means. When I heard that you guys wanted to have this conversation, I actually, it meant a lot to me. And I was like, oh, finally, I can talk to the victim's family, because I spent my entire career advocating for victims' families. I've done a lot of stuff with parents of murdered children. And, this is a very hard place that it started out trying to be at. And I really appreciate you guys reaching out. And anytime you have questions, I'll give you my direct number. By all means, feel free. You guys can hit me up anytime.
Thank you.
But what I want to cover on that piece is, when we start looking at the house itself, there's a couple different things we can look at. AT&T has a very specific report, and it's called Loctobor. I know it sounds like a silly word. It's LOCDBOR, Loctobor. It's location database of record. This will include estimated latitude and longitudes, and they range from 25 meters out to 3,000, 30,000 meters, so they can get very big. Historically, there's accuracy issues with this report. So if you just take all the data and you throw it on the map and you think that's accurate, you're going to have a lot of problems. A really good example in this case is there's a time when Brian goes up to Seattle and one of his Loctobor hits shows him in New Orleans. So that gives you an idea of the accuracy issues. There's two factors, and like I said, I'm going to pile on a lot of data for you guys. The next thing that comes into play is the actual handset, the phone itself. iPhone actually restricts a lot of third-party apps and even the mobile carrier to some points of getting precise location data, which a lot of people don't realize. If I try to ping a phone, that phone ping can actually be screwed up by Apple itself. Instead of getting this nice, neat little GPS, I get this 5,000 meter GPS range, and you can be anywhere in that 5,000 meters. Samsung, on the other hand, is a very chatty phone. It's preloaded with all kinds of silly apps and ridiculous monitoring. If anybody's ever had a Samsung, when you first power that thing up, like there's 100 apps on that thing. It's good for law enforcement because when we get a phone that's a Samsung phone, it's typically very chatty on the network. We're going to see a lot more connectivity. Samsung's also unique that if I do certain things with certain apps that require location data, such as GPS or navigation, that accuracy from 3,000 or the 5,000 meter range.
So he's saying a lot of stuff right there. What's he saying?
Well, he's basically, and I did a TikTok on this because this really jumped out at me because Brian had a Samsung, which is where he was pinned at the same location, like I said, in August, as Kaylee and Maddie. So, but that was before, but this part here that he's talking about, the Samsung gives you the 25 meter thing. So this is actually this is whenever he's speaking about Brian actually being in the house before the murders. He was in the house before the fucking murders. At least 5 times. At least 5 times that the longitude and latitude are like either in the house or just outside. But anyways, it's right there.
So do you believe he was in the house?
Yes. I think yes, I think after hearing this, absolutely. And I wouldn't put it past him. I think he stalked that house enough that he probably waited until he knew how many people lived there, I'm sure. And so he waited for everybody to leave or something, or he was just gutsy enough. And then even when Murphy was outside sometimes, and Murphy would kind of like disappear for a little bit, and then he'd come back, eventually. Like I think
Right,
he was
right.
being coaxed by Brian.
Yeah, he was being groomed, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
wasn't Brian a dog trainer? Didn't we hear that
No, but
about
he
him?
had dogs. No, but he has a dog,
Oh,
so he likes animals. That's why Murphy probably was not harmed, right? He wasn't, I don't know
right.
why Murphy never had any blood on him. I'll never understand that. But, I just don't get that part. But I don't know. I really don't know what to think of that. But yeah.
Okay, let's continue on with this. This
Yeah.
is a good interview.
It was a really good one.
Just come down to 25 meters. And in this particular case, if you look at those precise measurements, there's probably 5 that land directly on what would be the living room of the house. Like the latitude, longitude is the physical
So
house
5
itself.
that landed on the living room itself.
Yes, right.
Wow. If that is correct, I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
on
Well,
vacation when this came out. I was on
yeah,
vacation.
this is brand new information. Mm-hmm.
So let's keep going. Golly. How is that not putting him into the house?
Like,
Apparently what Sai is saying, right?
right.
And
Yeah.
if you put the house back on the map and you map those, the hits are inside the house. Now,
Let me I'm going to let you keep explaining. I just want to make sure I understand correctly. So, because I haven't heard this before. So you're saying based on the data you saw, the latitude, longitude for Brian Kohberger's Samsung was in the living room?
the AT&T derived latitude, longitude from the AT&T's network that it estimates a location, it lands in the house. And it's a 25-meter range. So, we're talking 75 feet. So it could be anywhere in the house on any floor. It could technically be outside the house. It could be on the
Right.
property, but it's showing in the immediate area. My personal opinion is when I look at those and I map what's happening before and after, and I'm looking at all the other evidence, I think these are accurate locations. And, that's, and to Steve's point earlier, this is why court, I think, is so critical for this case. That's an argument to be had in front of the jury where the defense would come in and say, hey, you can't reliably say this. And the prosecution would say, here's why. When done right, I feel that they're reliable.
So when you say accurate locations, you mean you believe based on your expertise that he was inside the house on previous occasions?
So I'll qualify a handful of things tonight. And again, Steve, any questions that later on, by all means, hit me up. I'm more than happy to pour over anything you want to. One of the things the defense did with me early on in this case is they got outside of the geolocation data and they said, hey, as a former homicide cop, as a homicide sergeant, as a supervisor that supervises these type of investigations, we're interested in anything you can find. And they poured tons of data over. Why that's important too is it's not just the phone stuff. There's a lot of stuff inside the crime scene and things that I reviewed in the crime scene. I 100% believe that the offender, who is Brian Kohberger, like there's no alternative theory in my head at this point. He's been in the house before. I think there's absolutely no doubt he was familiar with.
And that coincides, if he's correct, that coincides with what has been stated, that one time they entered the home, the washer machine was on.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Forgot about
And, the former roommate, what was her name? Emily?
that. No.
Not Emily.
Gosh. Hold on. Gosh. Ashlyn Couch.
Ashlyn Couch, yes.
Yeah.
She had stated that there were multiple times when they would come home and it had been like somebody was in the home.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So-
there was always a lot of people in the house, but maybe not
Well, of course.
necessarily when they weren't home. I don't think people would show up if they're not home. I don't
Well,
think.
sure. But I mean, they were gone a lot and there were still people partying in the home, but there was also probably people that they knew in the home at the time.
Right.
But that takes a lot of surveillance to be comfortable enough to walk into that home, if he actually did.
Yeah.
And you don't think 1112 would have caught him on camera driving around the location?
Yeah,
That
but see,
camera, that
yeah,
camera is significant. More than
that
people give
camera
it
is
credit for.
it definitely is. It definitely is. And I mean, you would think, but I mean, do they like Cyrase should know the dates that happened. So whether or not 1112 has the footage on those dates, that's a whole other
Right.
thing. Maybe they don't have that on their SD card because it was an SD card that they gave the cops, right? So how big was this SD card? You know, how much did it hold? For how long? So it's possible, you know, they didn't have that footage, but maybe they did. Maybe they did, you know. We would have seen that maybe at trial, you know. There's a lot of evidence that we don't know. A lot of stuff is still sealed, right? So
But
maybe they have
I
that
want to
information.
clear on stuff, okay? All the stuff that people are this interview with this friend, and this interview with that friend, and the cop should ask this question, the cop should ask that question. Well, these people weren't suspects.
Yeah,
The cops aren't going to dig deeper because they know that they're interviewing them. They're not interrogating them. An
right,
interrogation is totally different than an interview. So
right.
all these people that are saying, well, they should ask these tough questions. For what? For what?
Yeah,
You're wanting to get a generalized understanding of who the victims were.
right.
Nothing more, nothing less.
That's right.
They don't want to know anything other than, okay, did one of the victims ever talk about stalking? Did one of the victims ever talk about anything weird that happened in the home? Did this person ever mention being scared of the ex-boyfriend? Did this person ever mention anything this?
Hmm.
And you know, to be fair, these cops got a lot more than most people get from somebody in the first time that they're interviewed. They really did.
Yeah,
If you've never interviewed somebody, you've never interviewed somebody you've never met
right.
on something such as this,
Yeah.
they're
We
lucky
need to
they got
yeah,
as much information as they did.
yeah.
Because
I cannot wait.
they didn't have to say anything,
Right. I can't wait for them
right?
to release
Is that
his
not true?
fucking interrogation. Oh God, I don't
Is that
know.
not true?
Yeah, yeah. I just like I really when you say that, I just want to see his interrogation. I want to see that stuff.
Well, I was talking about that last night, and I believe his interrogation probably lasted 3 to 5 minutes. He was cool until he thought, he was also that says a lot about him, where he's trying to tell one of the police, we should go and grab a coffee
Oh
sometime.
yeah. Oh God.
Is that
Yeah.
not ballsy? Is that not
Mm,
ballsy? And then they're like, well, you know what? Do you know why we're here? You know why we broke into your home? I mean, not broke into the home, but why
pretty
we
much.
swatted you?
Yeah,
Why
swatted.
we
Yeah.
swatted you? Oh, I need my attorney. I can't talk to y'all anymore. You aren't
Yeah.
playing nice. Now I
Yeah.
need to show you that I have control.
Yeah. Yeah.
If people cannot understand that this whole case is about power and control
It
regarding
is.
Brian Kohberger, then you
Yes.
don't really have a general conception of the whole dynamic because it is about power and control, and it's always been a power and
It's
control. And
always been.
it's always been about obsession.
Yeah. Oh
Obsession.
yeah. Oh yes, absolutely. I 150%. I agree. I agree with that. I think he's very dominant. I think, or he tries to be. You know, I think he's definitely very dominant, and this power and control, like you said, yeah, like that's definitely ballsy what he said, and I cannot
I
believe
mean,
he
who
said
does
that.
that? You just got swatted and you're trying to say, oh, you want to go grab a coffee sometime?
He's trying to manipulate
Is,
and charm his way. Like fuck off. Like seriously, fuck
is
all
that
the way
not the
off.
gayest shit you've ever heard?
Oh, he's so annoying. Yeah, absolutely. Like absolutely so fucking annoying. He's a
So let's say,
hedonistic guy. Like he's definitely narcissist and hedonistic as well.
if he didn't like females, okay, if he didn't like females, and he had this disdain for them, and I've always said that, and people have gotten on to me. Said, what if Brown was gay? What if he
Well,
had issues with his sexuality? Even though he was watching porn, it still doesn't mean that he was straight. You
well,
know,
you
there's a lot
do.
of serial killers that are confused about their sexuality.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know, but he later on in this interview, they do talk about his search history, and Olivia asked him whether or not there was gay porn in there, and he didn't. He and he said no, there wasn't, but there was a lot of very violent porn, like literally, and he didn't want to say it, I don't think, but I think he was insinuating torture, like being like
Yeah,
torturing a
violence
woman.
with their
And
children.
yeah, yeah. So yes, I don't think he was gay. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I don't get that vibe. I think he was just a guy that got rejected a lot and just hated women for it. Like I
So,
just
do you believe that he went in there with no? I mean, we may never know, but just for the sake of conversation, if you were infatuated with one of the females, okay,
mhm.
you went in there just to kill her, just like Stephen McDaniel killed his neighbor. You just went in there to kill her, or did you like freeze up and you went in there to do more and it didn't happen? So, out of anger, you took it out on the victim.
It's yeah. I mean,
Because
he
we
probably went
did
in there
have
to live a fantasy, and he got all like fucked up because Kaylee walked in, and then Xana, and
because
then yeah.
there was a lot in the Reddit things, and I don't take those, but with a grain of salt. One of them said that the killer had issues with, you know, arousal, and that
Yes.
was when they were
Yes.
talking with Papa Roger
Yeah.
during that
Hmm.
era, and they
Yes.
were talking about the killer had issues with
Yeah.
arousal.
Yeah, exactly. That also could
So,
be a reason why he hated women so much, because he knew he couldn't get them physically. Like literally, he couldn't even probably get it up, you know.
well, I mean,
I can't see your face expression. Ah,
well, you
go
can hear me, so you
yeah.
can be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, exactly.
Let's listen to some more of this.
Basic layout of the house. I'm not saying he was intimately familiar with the entire house, but he had a working knowledge of the house. That
Oh,
house is laid out very weird. I've been through the house. The path that was taken, what we see is what occurred in that house, him coming and going from the neighborhood. There's prior knowledge. There's no doubt in my mind that there's prior knowledge. So that also helps support some of this. One thing I want to kind of circle back to, Brian, and Steve, you'll find this in my report. And it took me weeks to get the defense to allow me to put this in my report. They didn't want me to put it in there. Made ID, so mobile advertiser ID. And you guys have all experienced this where you've searched for, I don't know, a pair of shoes. You've Googled a new pair of shoes you think you wanted. And then 2 days later, you're surfing the internet and some ads are popping up for those shoes. That's based on your mobile advertiser ID. It's a unique number, but there's third-party databases that collect that. And typically when they're collecting that type of information, it gets a latitude, longitude stamp with a timestamp. So we can actually see. Law enforcement can access those databases. You have to have a search warrant. There's a process to go through. In my report, what you'll find is it's towards the very end of it. I actually lay out that, hey, there's more than reasonable suspicion here to believe that this phone has been inside the residence or very close to the residence on these dates.
oh, so they have the
Typical
dates.
criminal
Yes.
investigation, we would go look at these third-party databases, pull.
What'd you
Good.
say?
So he just said that they do have the dates. Obviously they do, but he just confirmed we do have the dates that he showed up, like he pinged inside the house. You know, so that's good. Keep going.
So if his phone were so These are prior trips, right?
Yes.
These are part of the 23.
Before the murders, yeah.
Yeah, these are part of the 23 times.
Yeah, exactly.
I always believe, and I'll believe till whenever, whether I'm wrong or not. I believe he was scoping out more houses than 1122. I believe he was
You
probably
think?
scoping out a lot of residences all over the place. I do. I do. I don't believe that he was just going to do one and done. I believe that
No,
had
but I
he
think
got
he was stalking one, and then he'd get to know his target, and then after that he would have, and then he ordered a replacement, right? A replacement K-bar.
yeah,
So maybe he was going to do it again, yes, but I think he would have targeted another, another like
well,
girl or
of
whatever.
course.
But I don't think he was
But
doing it
what
all
to
at the
say
same
he did?
time.
No, I'm saying that what to keep him from coming back, thinking he got away with it,
Right.
with the fantasy of committing the perfect crime.
Right. He almost did.
They don't know. All I did was, maybe I can explain the sheath away by with this new sheath, because that's what K-Bar should start doing, is having a serial number on all their stuff. I mean, then you can't really
100%.
hide the fact that this wasn't registered to you.
Absolutely. That's such a good point. That is yes. I'm down for that. That needs to happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot
Just
of
like a
stuff
gun does. They all have their registration numbers, right? They have to be registered. So,
right. I mean,
and
yeah,
like it's a
you can tell.
military style knife. Like,
I don't know. It probably will never happen, but
but that's a
nobody.
good point. I love that. They should put it
But
in the universe.
nobody's really interested in this case in the real world, just in YouTube land.
There was no cleanup. Sorry. There was no cleanup.
I was like, what? Let's
there's-
continue on.
All the mobile advertiser ID data from those days. Forget the 13th. His phone is off. We're never going to get his phone in or near the house on the 13th, and that's where all the focus was. But if we go back to pattern of life and we pull these other dates leading up to the crime, I feel incredibly confident that they're going to get precise GPS. Now I'm talking 3 meters. So now we're talking less than 10 feet at, around, and very close to the house on these different occasions. The idea that I put this in my report and said, this is the kind of follow-up I would expect to have, and nobody ever, I fully expected as soon as I dropped that report that January, that by February, March, we were going to see discovery on this new data. They didn't even look at it. They didn't even bother with it. It's incredible.
If they looked at it, they wouldn't have understood it. We heard that in court when they were talking about a JSON file and how you can edit it and how like that was some kind of weird anomaly. It's like, that's what the file's for. That's what you use it for. I mean, it was very confusing to the audience, but the lack of knowledge inside that courtroom at certain times was very frustrating to me. And I mean, I went and hired my own people. I went Shadow Dragon. I've said it multiple times. They have OS Lint. They were like, Steve, the same emails they're using in this court case are the same emails we're tracking back to your children.
That's a huge statement right there.
Mm-hmm.
And the federal investigation that was going on, supposedly, that is still out there. Even, I don't see him escaping any, to get a federal death penalty conviction, it's, I don't know, man. It's not, it wouldn't be anything to take lightly. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he killed 4 people and burglarized a residence in commission of a crime. Let's see what Olivia says. Let's see.
Kohberger family was way more involved on that plea deal than the victims' families ever were. I believe that there was conversations going from the jail in real time of this thing going down. There's no doubt about that. But I've done a lot of cases. I've done a lot of death penalty cases. It is very unusual for the defense attorney on the case, especially one who's technically a public defender, to stay involved and active with the defendant in prison visitations the year following a plea deal. That is incredibly rare. Like the case is done. No one is making contact with him. So the idea that it's all Ann and only Ann, and he hasn't obtained a new attorney for this appeal, to me is very telling. I think jail logs and jail calls would really expose a regular routine between Ann and Brian that they're visiting and talking on a weekly, if not daily basis at times.
I mean, it's not like he had a trial and then was found guilty, and then he could go back and say, oh, the evidence they used at trial against me, is unfair. Like he still pled guilty. But that had nothing to do with the IGG.
So here's the issues, and there's two huge issues here. And again, Steve, if somebody's explained this to you, then I'll move on. If not, like you guys, you have to be aware of this. The fact that the prosecution probably never told you about Garza versus Idaho, and man, commit that one to memory. So,
But you know what? You learn about Garza versus Idaho in your first semester of CJ. You learn about all these court cases very early on. So it's not something that he wouldn't have known.
Right.
He would have known about it. They're
Right.
very Supreme Court orientated, and he would have known about it. So the fact that people are saying, well, he didn't know about this and blah, 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 he had every intent to do what he's doing.
Right.
Is he going to be successful? I don't think so. What do you think?
No, definitely not. Mm-mm.
You don't think he's going to succeed?
To win his case?
Yeah.
No.
To get a new trial.
I mean, he's going to get a new trial probably. I think this is going to go to trial for sure. I hope it does. I really do. I think, like I said, we haven't seen the evidence. So people are still out there saying, oh, no, he didn't do it. No. He just pled guilty because, oh, God, no, he was forced or whatever the case is, right? But I feel like, there needs to be a trial so all the evidence can be out there. Like the Gonzalez's said, they want a trial because they want all the evidence to be there, which makes all the sense in the world. This way, the jury can be the ones to say, yes, sir, you're fucking guilty. Get out of here. You're getting the firing squad, But we need a trial for that. And so with the evidence, you'll truly be able to, how can you deny the evidence at that point? If that's where I'm like the true crime, the dark side and the one we're on, like the side that we're on, basically, like, that's why I say, like, people will hopefully stop with the whole, oh no, Brian's innocent. But if they have the clear freaking evidence right there, you can't deny that. You have to just stop at some point and say, okay, you know what? We were wrong. We grifted everyone for all this time. And so, but we're wrong. But I don't think they'll do that still, but I don't, you know what I mean?
So do you believe that, would you donate to him getting a professional type lawyer as other people are stating he deserves?
No,
Would
absolutely
you
not.
do a
But he
GoFundMe?
has no. And I know there's GoFundMe's out there. Do you know how much he's raised so far in his commissary? I have the amount right here. Hold on, let me get it for you. Do you know how much he's gotten from his commissary?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'll get it for you. Hold on. Oh gosh, I hate it when I can't find it just fast. It's in this file. I can't lose it. Hold on. Ugh, gosh darn. Oh, here we go. $10,812.13, and he's used $10,635.10. Leaves him with $177 left in his bank. Yeah. So, and
Wow.
most of that is coming from Mama, his mom, but some of it is actually coming from, I'll say Brian's girls, or Brian's, I'll call them Brian's girls because they seem to love Brian. But, And fun fact, I had an interview at one point with a Brian. Audio at the time was shitty. My camera at the time was shitty. So it wasn't the best. I would love to do a redo of that one, but yes, I did. So,
This is gonna be the thumbnail for our live tonight. You see it?
oh gosh.
You see
Oh
it?
boy. Yeah, I see it. My God. Why is there Crayola? Why is there a box of Crayola? Wait, what's going on? There's too much to look at. There's a banana because I know he complained about the bananas. And then
Yeah.
what's with the Crayolas? What's the reference to that?
It just, the simplicity of his greatness.
Oh gosh. Oh, anyways, yeah. So that was a really good interview with Cy, honestly. And I know a lot of people are saying he twisted his words, or he's saying one thing with one person, another thing with somebody else. I don't know. I don't see that. I think he's pretty consistent. Again, I think it's just selective hearing on what they want to believe. Like, people are just definitely ignorant to what they're actually listening to or hearing. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't get it, Gage. I really don't.
I think I just made that, so that's hilarious to me. Yeah.
It is.
It pisses people off.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, you know what? If the evidence comes through, that he did in fact kill them, which we believe that he did, um, then I don't know. Maybe that'll put an end to that. Maybe they'll finally move on from this case and go on to other cases. There's a lot of cases out there that need to be talked about, not just
People
this
won't
case.
move on, Sonia. They won't move on.
Yeah, but they can't. I mean, people are going to get bored. Like, once the evidence comes out after trial, I believe there will be a trial. I hope. I really, really hope. If there is, they should definitely just stop and just move on.
God forbid he gets killed.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I hope I'm alive to see that. I'm
You know what I
sorry.
mean? We would never hear the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Never forget the foundation in the bathtub. I don't know what comment was that. Never forget the foundation in the bathtub. She did a few comments that night, I think. There's one video that I posted where she mentioned that. She mentioned she said queen on one of her friends' TikToks.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm. But
Let me pull up TikTok. That way we can show some of your stuff while you're on panel. I mean, because I like how you do the whole whatever that filter is. I
yeah,
think that is so cool, and the music and everything. It's like I
a lot
can't
of
do that.
people get annoyed with that. But well, while you do that, let me go. I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to I'm going to lower my camera for a minute. I'm just going to go use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Okay.
who's to blame is BK, and we're holding him accountable. None of the victims. Like, another thing I appreciate you saying is no cleanup. We've really chased that down, because I mean they're literally driving these young girls to the point of they don't have a life anymore. So you're not true crime anymore. You're speculation, Hollywood fan fiction crap. And I would love for true crime to get back on focus and say, how do we make the world a better place? How do we make sure that people are coming together to actually have less murders and mass murders every single year? That's something we should work towards, not this fan fiction stuff. I mean, so that's part of the reason why we're here today. This is why we've been so dedicated. This is why we made a charity. This is why we have Murder Has a Name. We're doing everything in these girls and these victims' names, Ethan as well, and making sure that the world's a better place. Really, it's just the world's a better place when this is said and done. Who's to blame is BK.
You said no cleanup, Cy. I mean, right? That you think
he was in and out. We're talking minutes, and there was I'm limited on some of this information. There was some reenactments that I know were done, and the reenactments, this crime could clearly be carried out by a single individual, and it's 5 to 6 minutes. And if push ever came to shove, and that had to be proven in court, I know there's video out there of the reenactments. Like, there is no doubt that this is a single offender. But on that point, I think what you guys are hitting at, it's frustrating to see is, Turvey wants to say that there's cleanup because of things that are absent. Basically there's things that aren't in a bathroom, therefore it's indicative of cleanup. There's no evidence of what that bathroom looked like before or after. Like, if we start building a case on that type of speculation, Ryan Kohberger's going to walk, right? That's just absurd. And I felt a deep obligation to call Turvey out. And, I'm going to piece something together for you guys. And I've been on the fence if I should voice this, but I think it's the right thing to do. So if I get in trouble later on, so be it. Don't get caught up in what I believe is a very rehearsed scam that is happening.
I watched the Netflix Idaho Murders, A College Nightmare last night. I watched the entirety. There wasn't a lot in there that I did not know already. There were a lot of clips of Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Xana that I had never seen before. Home clips, videos and whatever from friends and family. I got emotional. This was on the first episode. I got really emotional, uncontrollably, in regards to these videos and just watching the life that they had, or they could have had, the love that they had to give each other. Like, Ethan and Xana's relationship is so beautiful. Maddie and Kaylee's relationship, friendship, sisterhood was amazing. They all loved each other so much. And even the surviving roommates, you guys, like Bethany and Dylan loved their roommates. They really did. Maddie was Bethany's big, and Kaylee was the only one in a different sorority. Ethan was loved so much by his friends and everything. There were a couple of interviews. There was a few people in this one that I did not know even existed.
Sonia, listening to your TikTok, they're so emotional. Like,
Yeah.
I listen to them and I'm like, oh my God, I want to cry. The way that you present it, it's like, man, how could anybody take that in a negative way? Like,
nobody does. I don't get a lot of
that prior one, there was a lot of people going off on it.
Oh yeah, but that's because that was Ray and Steve talking, right? But when it's my videos, it's when it's me speaking, because that's where I base my true crime, where it's like true crime meets compassion, but again, I advocate for the victims, like Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Xana for the Idaho case. That's all that matters, and I was there listening to Steve and Christy and their speech at CrimeCon, and I recorded the entirety, okay, but I would never post it because I'm not going to do that. But I recorded it for my own, like, to remember what they said, because he mentioned it with Cyree earlier there, the last video you played, where he's like, true crime is not the same. Like, that's what I was talking about too. Like, CrimeCon teaches you that. Like, it's completely a different. You wouldn't see any of those people that we talk about. You wouldn't see any of them there. You wouldn't. They're not wanted there. That's not like we wouldn't want them there at all. Like, quite honestly, CrimeCon's not about that side of TikTok or true crime. Sorry, So
Right.
yeah, it takes a whole different, a good heart. You have to have a good heart, and you have to not be in it for the harassment, the bullying, and all of that. Grifting is huge with this case. So many grifters out there for this case. And you did a video not long ago. It was like perfectly said. But we'll have a live just on that one day. But
Yeah, one day.
yeah, one day soon. Yeah, for sure. Let's do it. But
I guess I first wanted to ask you just like how you and Christy are doing, and Olivia, and I know you were at work today. I was just talking to the people I'm with, and like, you forget that like Steve has to work during the day, and he finds out these things, like he's got a job like everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are trying to go on with your lives, and then something like this happens. Like, how are you guys doing?
Oh, yeah, I learned quite early. I think I probably knew what was going on. At least the author, gave me a heads up, which I really appreciated, and that gave me some time to just let the kids know, let the wife know, hey, this is what's happening, and talk to Shannon. Let's figure out the best approach to how this works. And so yeah, that's how our day started, and we just we've kind of learned to just roll with it, and there's only so much you can do, and hopefully you can lean on the people that you trust and love, and get through it.
When you said you spoke to the author, was that of the book, The Broken Plea book?
No, that was Baker, who wrote.
Oh, I see. The New York Times, the reporter. So he gave you a heads up before.
Yep, he did, and that's what I was saying. I really appreciated that, because it's just better to know what you're about to face than to just get blasted with there's so many ways to communicate with people now. So you're getting instant messages, and you're getting Facebook alerts, and you're getting media alerts. It just gets overwhelming. So you kind of just get yourself, all right, this is what my day is going to look like, and I'm ready to deal with it.
Did you suspect it at all? Because I had heard maybe like 2 weeks ago, I started to hear like, oh, there is this deadline, and he could possibly file something. Like, did you hear any of those rumblings? Did you have any like sort of feeling this might be coming?
Yeah, we had heard little rumors about this, and I mean, I'll be honest, they were saying it was going to be a little bit longer, possibly in September, but they told me nothing to really worry about. It's not something that it's preventable. You can't prevent it at all. So just it's coming down the pipe, and get your family in order.
Are you worried about it at all?
No, well, yeah, at first I was a little bit worried, because there's a lot of angles at which you can attack, the truth. There's a lot of ways you can go in and say, hey, now that I've seen every bit of evidence, can I poke a little hole through there? Can I find a little place where they didn't have me covered? So I was worried that he would have something really good and juicy in there. And so when he writes like he's in third grade. So when you can finally piecemeal what he's saying, you got to write it out, and like, it's like he needs a translator. But once you figure out what he's saying, there was nothing there. I mean, it was really, really a relief to know that he didn't have something that was big, because when you've done the crime, you would know how to find where there's little mistakes, where they've got things wrong, because you were there. So you could poke at those things, and I was just nervous about that.
Yeah, I wonder if after a year in prison there, he's in solitary, or I don't know, he might still be, if this is just like a boredom, like, why not? Like, What do I have to lose at this point? The only thing that I was hesitating, thinking maybe he wouldn't do it, was if he cared about his parents in that way. You know, you're putting your whole family through this again. But then I was thinking, you know, his parents have never come out and acknowledged his guilt, really. And even the sister who did the interview, you know, said that her heart went out to you and to the victims, but she never said, I can't believe my brother did this.
No, I was a little surprised that he kind of brought them into that paper that he wrote up, the post-conviction relief. He wrote that they were witnesses. So that is something that I'll have to dig into a little bit, you know, to figure out, like, I did ask a little bit, like, is it normal for, you know, a mass murderer to have his family surrounded by him when he's getting a plea deal? That seems very odd. But, and I was told that is odd. But maybe, you know, so we're going to figure out what was going on there. But long story short, they're like, it's nothing that can be prevented, and there's not much to be worried about unless he has some type of angle that he's been working on for 3 or 4 years, and that's what he's dropping, and that's mainly what we were concerned with.
You wanted a trial all along.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the things you wanted, it's kind of like people thought you were a little nutty in the moment, and then we kind of keep seeing these things happen where it's like, even you immediately pushed for a confession. You said, if you're going to give him the plea, at least give us that, where he has to verbally confess. I mean, are you kind of looking back thinking, like, I wish they would have done some of these things?
You know, I feel aces. I feel like my legal counsel was right on, told me exactly what to expect and what we could do. We knew that he has like this cult like following of people. So the only way to, you know, pull a cult out of something like that is with hard facts that they can't compose and twist and turn into something else. So if he would have admitted about the second weapon or something along those, where experts could opine on that and say, hey, that fits these details that we've never released, you know, that would have been great. But, you know, Thompson basically said he's the big boy and he had no worries. And I think his official statement was, we don't need it. And he would just probably lie to us if he did. So what that means to me is this will be over, you know, in 6 months. We won't be dealing with this for years. And, if we are, then somebody probably should have went back and did his homework and made sure that he got a confession, because, you know, he said it wasn't needed. So I'm going to hold him to that.
Yeah, all that I've spoken to today seem to think this is kind of like a, you know, he gets the right to a hearing. This will kind of be a moment, and then it's kind of a closed, you know, closed case after that.
Yeah, it's part of a process that was probably established in case law, you know, 10 years ago, and now everyone uses that as the script to go through it. So I'm frustrated for Idaho that we've wasted so much money on a guy who was never even a member of our state. You know, we've really been stuck with a huge, heavy burden of $8 million, and we get to let this loser go back at us, and it's a bummer. And I really feel for my fellow Idahoans and what we have to go.
You know, I've never heard that interview.
You never heard it?
No.
Oh,
I told you I was on vacation during that time.
Oh, right. Yeah.
12. Hey, Sonia.
Hi. So, yeah, it's a good one. Like, I mean, yeah, there's a.
It's touching. It is so freaking touching.
Yeah.
I cannot see why people hate the family so much. I don't get that. I don't get that at all. It's like, you hate my family, you hate me.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, how can you say you love the four, but you hate their families?
That's it.
Makes no sense.
Makes no sense. None.
I often say I understand why they're hating the ones that Kaylee loves, and Kaylee's gone, and it just that they put them in a category where they're worthy of hate. It blows my mind. Even you know, and it's in the same category with Dylan and Bethany. Basically, anybody that is doing anything that helps to keep Brian a bad guy. They hate him. They
Yeah.
probably hate they hate that fire hydrant down on Taylor Avenue even.
Yeah, they're mad that that black jacket was not Maddie's.
Right. Damn it.
Yeah, yeah. It ended up being beside Kaylee's bed. If you noticed, that was Maddie's jacket from the night before.
And you know what's cool in a way? Not cool, but just when Christy found the macaroni in the jacket.
The
And then when
receipt-
she
the
found
receipt of the thing.
the receipt for the carbonara,
Yeah.
and she held it up to the camera, and then I went to my grub truck footage where I estimated what the actual time was, and I put the clock at the bottom right corner, and I was like off by less than 30 seconds. It was right in the range. But I mean, it was easy because there's 2 times during the grub truck videos where the guy at the cash register says what time it is. So you can back time or front time, whichever, the 2 times you want to choose as a reference time, and then figure it out. So it's not like it was super hard, but for pro burgers, it seems like it's super hard, because they want it to be mysterious. Like if they can alter the time, or they can say, oh, something nefarious was done. Because it's almost like they're like, we would rather this crime happened around 2 a.m., please. Could we just make that happen? Because
do
then we
everything
can,
to
our
make it
bushy
happen.
eyebrowed messiah or buddy or
Yeah.
friend can get out of that cell and get to using
You
his
know-
knife sharpener again.
That is sacrilegious, but that would be one of those shirts that you could make. God.
Yeah.
Like I said, the timeline has always intrigued me because that's usually how a crime is solved, by the timeline.
Yeah.
So the fact that there were so many people, so many cameras documenting these times, okay, there was not, the 1112 camera was not fabricating digital evidence.
Right.
Molly, whether people believe her or whether they don't, she did indeed drop off some food, and there was camera footage of her walking around with something that looked like a cell phone light because she stated that she was lost.
Right.
So at what point do you not believe these people on what they say? I mean, I always knew in my own heart that the crime happened so close to the DoorDash order. I even questioned whether the DoorDash driver was involved in the very beginning.
Me too.
I'll be
I did
honest.
too. I did too. I definitely thought there was something connected there somehow.
Yeah, I thought the time frame is too close.
Yeah. How did
Yeah,
they not cross paths,
Yeah, how could they not have seen each other?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you think, Jeff? Did you think that?
Yeah, and I mean, both of us have delivered. I've delivered Instacart. You do, DoorDash and that stuff. I mean, I'm sure we both have found ourselves, like at night, standing in the road trying to, like, where the hell is this address?
Yeah.
I've even delivered food and then, like, driven away. 2 minutes later, they're saying, you delivered to the right number, but it was in the wrong section of the development. So it's like, I'll be right back, and I go back to the house, and thank God the people at that house didn't like take the stuff in. I'd be knocking on the door. It's like, hey, you didn't hope you didn't get into that ice cream yet.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think when we watched, it was you and I. We watched, the light bulb camera footage that night, and we were observing. Now you can't prove by looking at it that it's the white Elantra going up and down Walenta Drive hill at the speed of a turtle, but if you watch all the other times where you can confirm, when he actually comes into the neighborhood where it is truly the Elantra, and then just watch it. Don't skip ahead, just watch it, and you can see it like it totally makes sense. He is watching the house. And he is also watching what I like to call the K-bar blocking Molly, waiting for her to frickin' leave. It's like, get out of there, woman. I'm trying to do something here. I'm trying to get my nerve up to do something.
Absolutely.
And he creeps up and down that hill a couple times as he's watching her. The moment she leaves, he's in there. He's trying to park right in front of the light bulb camera. He can't fit. You know, he's
Mm-hmm.
doing a U-turn. He's in action now. Now he's got his he's got his
So
adrenaline is
let
pumping.
me ask both of you a question, Jeff. You and Sonia, and y'all can answer one by one if you like. So if we have heard that Xana was notorious for ordering DoorDash, and supposedly he was there 23 times at that home, you don't believe that he witnessed these situations happening more often than not? Like he didn't run into other DoorDash drivers? Nobody's ever talked about that, right? Because we don't have any proof, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that camera at 1112 caught a lot of different vehicles coming, and that it was DoorDash. There has to be receipts somewhere of all the times that she ordered and got food.
Oh yes,
At that,
absolutely. She did.
you know what I mean?
But I don't know whether or not they would have crossed paths if he would have come out of his car. I'm sure he got out of his car a few times, obviously, because he was on the property. But like whether or not, we would never know if he actually like ran into another DoorDash driver. But a lot of people go to 500 Queen and park there, and they use that road, right? So it could be anyone, right? That's a big apartment building, those 500
Right.
Queen.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You remember
say
Roy?
like,
You remember Roy?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm referencing him because of the video that he did while he was parked up there. Nobody messed with him while he was walking around filming. Remember that, Jeff? We
Yeah,
commented.
he made a good point too. Remember, he parked with the front of his car facing away from the back of the house. He was up against that wall.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
With the rear view mirror where you could see the house, and that's like, okay, that's pretty brilliant. I never thought that's, I always assumed you park with you're facing the back of the house. You're looking right into what I've often described as Maddie's like drive-in movie theater bedroom
Yeah,
window for
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
creeper, a stalker, a pervert,
Yeah.
you know. And a guy like that, it seems to me, all he's got to see, if he sees her like just whatever situation it is in that window, and it's something that he desires, something he can't get out of his mind, now he's ruminating on her, probably constantly during the day, and it's just it's taking him over. And the way that Elantra behaves that night, I mean, that to me, it seems to just completely add up.
Yeah, very telling. Like it's clear, and you see him on Walenta. You see him like double back. I don't know where he would go and turn around up on Walenta. There's
Right.
where it turns into Ridge, but yeah, and then you could see him coming down all the time. Like seriously, like so
Yeah.
many times.
Yeah,
And
Gray Hughes might be a grumpy dude, but man, he strung all those camera clips together in order, and
Yeah.
damn if it doesn't show the story like you're talking about. Exactly, I know what you're talking about, where he loops around. There's some footage where it's like you can't really see the car, but you can see the headlights
yeah,
that they're kind of swinging around, and
and I just feel like I
Yeah.
hear his car. Once I heard his car, like I know when I hear his car. I don't know why, but I just like, oh, that's the car right there. Like
It does have like a whining sound to it, didn't it? Like a belt
not
was
sure,
loose or
but there's
something.
something about it that it just like, that's the car. It just, and I get this eerie feeling every time I hear it, and see it. But hearing it,
Good point. Yeah.
especially with the Linda Lane footage, because you don't, and whenever he does the 3-point turn in there, and that's when you see it through the fence, that's like
Right.
so telling for
Yeah,
me. It's
yeah.
just like that sound right there, and that's what I hear on the 1112 camera as well. Like it's just it's and I get this feeling,
So if you're hearing that, you don't believe that the experts were listening for the same kind of sound?
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they were. Yeah, absolutely.
Surely.
They have those experts on tap for that.
And think about it too. They're taking it even a step further. It's like they have the damn car.
Yeah,
They can
and they
start
even
it up and
recreated
listen
the
to it.
scene, everything. Payne recreated the scene, right? Like
Maybe we would have heard about that at the trial, that they recorded the actual Elantra of Brian's, Here's the engine, what it sounds like, you know.
Yeah.
Here's what it sounds like when you put it into reverse. So many people that, and it's the unfortunate thing when they say, "Oh, I think I hear what sounds like a manual transmission. I hear what sounds like a manual." It's like I don't. I've owned
I
a bunch
remember
of
that.
manual
I
transmissions.
remember
No,
And the
I
thing
don't know
is
that.
like it's unfortunate for them.
I
It's
drove
unfortunate for
one. No.
anybody who makes a claim like that, but has such a strong bias for the answer that they want it to be, that
Mm-hmm.
they'll make it be that, you know, and that's what's unfortunate. We don't just let the evidence just take us where, you know,
Right.
it's like
I
I
mean,
don't fear being
wouldn't it
proven
be a
wrong
trip?
like on something.
Wouldn't it be a trip if it did have mechanical failures that caused that noise that was distinctive to his vehicle? You know what I mean? You're onto something that I've really never
Like a
thought
hole
about.
in the muffler or something.
Yeah, but
Or,
like
Well, I
maybe the
mean,
exhaust or the fucking manifold or something like that.
yeah.
I mean, because you know, I have a hard time hearing anyway. So the higher pitch sounds, if y'all hear higher pitches, I mean, you know, I can only hear so many decibels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even with headphones. So, you know, if you're able to hear something very distinctive and you start the car up
Mm-hmm.
and you hear it, I'm not talking like a muffler, a hole in the muffler or something. I'm talking about maybe a belt loose, a
Yeah.
squealing sound,
Something.
or
Yeah.
maybe the brakes were worn, or anything that could differentiate his vehicle from
Mm-hmm.
any other vehicle in the area that night.
Yeah. And they have
Or like
audio.
audio. What about audio analysis where we could get in there with like really good equipment and find out, like you can hear on his car stereo, it's like a virgin.
Oh my
Hey.
God.
Or
You know, that's
no,
like
Jeff.
that's like
It's
the
that
song he's
Britney
listening
Spears
to.
song, "Criminals." Remember, he was
Oh, that's right. That's right.
he was
Yeah,
said
that's the
he
song
was
you
like
like.
listening to that Criminals song all the time. Mama,
Yep.
I'm in love with a criminal. Is that the one?
No,
Oh,
yes, who
I think that's
listened
right.
to Britney Spears
oh,
as
what a
a
creep.
20-year-old man?
Ah, anyways, yes, absolutely. Like definitely audio expert would be.
Do
I'm
these
sure.
jeans make my butt look fat?
Yeah, fuck.
That's what I when you were talking about
Birthing
that
hips.
earlier. The
Birthing
photo in the
hips.
mirror.
It makes your
The
love
birthing
handle.
hips. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you need to do some side by sides, you know.
Gosh darn it. Oh my god. But I mean, that's a good
Yeah,
point. Like,
we
I
were just
mean,
talking about that dysmorphia, you know, that body
yeah,
image. He obviously had that body image issue. You could tell it by those pictures.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, he was obsessed with his weight ever since he was bullied, right? So,
I'll never excuse his actions.
me neither.
I just wish that somebody would have noticed it a long time ago to
Notice the
have
signs.
stopped it.
Hmm.
Yeah, to have stopped it possibly. Or intervened where, you know, like that professor was talking. He was a different type of creep, she said. A
Yeah,
predator. She used some distinctive words that you don't just use with normal creepy looking or acting people. I mean, I'm sure
yeah.
there's a creepier person in her class, but she didn't mention them, did she? No, she was mentioning Brian.
Yeah.
Do you think there'd be like a chance that they could find somebody that knew Brian's parents and say, "Yeah, I remember his dad saying, well, yeah, Brian's left for the West Coast, and man, I just hope he doesn't get violent with anybody or doesn't like lose it with anybody." Because like I mean, Sonia was talking about earlier. I was listening to you guys talking about the bar, the 7 sirens, right?
Hmm.
The way that
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
on the warning list, with his credit card and everything, or his ID,
Yeah.
But I always wondered if, like, as parents, they thought, "I just hope he doesn't get into trouble. I hope he doesn't get angry at anybody." It's almost like the Incredible Hulk. Like, don't make me angry. He wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
We don't know, right? Like, we don't know any of that side at all. But then I'm assuming maybe the prosecution have plenty of witnesses. Didn't they have like 6 witnesses, including the gym guy, Jared, not Jared, but Harris, the boxer gym coach?
Yeah.
They were gonna have like 6 people from Pennsylvania go to a hearing, and then plea deal or whatever.
Oh my
But
God, Sonia, that's exactly what I was just about to say.
yeah, but so they would have they probably would have been on the prosecution side. Well, they were going there to be on the go with them. But they would have probably testified to this, Jeff. Like, because we don't know anything about that side of things. How, like, somebody must have known his family and stuff and how he was, Jeez.
Well, that professor even mentioned something that was very distinctive to his personality. The fact that he was very overpowering, as how we're talking about. He wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
He had to be the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
How are you not gonna forget that? How are you not gonna forget every little encounter you had with this guy? Especially if he was that overpowering, overbearing. And the fact that the students kept a poll of him showing up to male instructors versus female instructors. So that tells you that there was a lot of eyes on him. So it's not like this
in
professor
a short
was the
amount of
only
time
one.
too.
Yes.
In a very short amount of time. That's the fucking, like, what the fuck? This guy shows up in June or July or whatever to Washington, and then all of a sudden, like, from the get-go, he's like not liked by anyone. And in those few
Guys
months,
that invited him to the pool party. One of the
Right.
guys, when they saw him going up,
he didn't go though. He didn't go.
he was going up the hill, and they were coming down at dusk. He mentioned that being weird. That Brian had this weird look on his face, and he reacted as if he knew him for 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He gave him such a like, oh my God, you're my best friend type shit, and he's only met him once.
Delusional. That's what he is. He's delusional. That's a
Do
perfect
you
word for
remember
Brian.
that, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember we talked about that, and that was in that documentary. Do you think that there was a chance that it wasn't just a chance encounter? He ran into this DJ on the hiking trail path, that maybe he was following him, and maybe was, who knows? Maybe found out he was going to be hiking there, went there. Who knows? I mean, this could have been like instead of the Idaho 4 murders, this could have been the hiking trail murder for all we know. This DJ
Yeah,
that
that
was
one
sliced
girl
up.
said that she used to hike. Remember the one that one girl that came out and said that she used to go hiking or whatever. She talked to him one time. He mentioned hiking and being from Pennsylvania and all the stuff he liked to do outdoors. And then she got creeped out by him. And then she like quit hiking and all this stuff because she thought that maybe he was watching her. I'm not making this shit up. That really happened.
Yeah, she had
I don't remember
her
that one, but you
response to him.
Okay.
Or no, like
That was in the
her
documentary
text,
too, right?
Yeah, his text to her said something like, "I seem to recall us talking about going hiking sometime. Do you want to?
Yes.
You want to go hiking tomorrow?"
Thank you, Jeff. Yes, I remember now. Yes. That was weird.
Yeah, it seems a little, not like let's get a coffee and get to know each other first. No, let's go out. That's like somebody that
go to
asks
the
a woman to
bush.
go out on their boat. Like, hey,
Yeah,
you wanna
let's go on the
just
boat.
the two of us.
Yeah.
You end up at the bottom of the ocean.
But to be fair, also, you know how we look at the other side and they have their bias, right? We want to be honestly not biased, but to be fair, some of the things that the way he presented himself, was it really social awkwardness, or do you believe that it was more him just trying to be the alpha when he definitely was the beta?
Definitely that second one. He was trying to be the alpha, and he's no fucking body. Yeah. Sorry.
He was the master at being the beta.
Yes.
The master beta.
Master beta. Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
I mean, I had forgotten about that text message, Jeff. Good thing they brought it up, because that and, to follow that one girl, and even though he was younger, that context to me had never really meant much. He probably did hit it. She just was, didn't want her husband to know that she let a serial killer follow her into her apartment and have sex with her.
Yeah.
Now, who is this you're talking about? I'm missing this.
The birthing hips girl.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Well,
Gotcha.
he's gonna
Maybe
start.
it was Maybe it was so bad she had to act like she was throwing up to get him out.
Well, that's what she said she was doing. Yeah, she was like literally like
Pretending to throw up. in the-
pretending for him to go, to throw up. Yeah, exactly. But
Sadly, he will never get to go inside a Costco.
Isn't it interesting with the Costco thing that now, I wonder how he could have possibly not known you need a membership card to go into a Costco, because he used to work at a BJ's, which is Costco's competition, and you need a membership card at BJ's. You need a membership card at Costco. Part of me wonders if he didn't go down there just like, I got to be seen on a camera down here, so because I need to build this fake alibi and be good to have me on a camera down here,
maybe
way far away from everything the next morning. Costco, yeah, I'll go to Costco, and I'll just
maybe
maybe he absolutely knew he needed a card, and he knew that if he just stood there, he could talk to this woman for a while and get
He
recorded
also
long
had the
enough
Al
to be
Bundy
seen.
pants on. Those brown Al Bundy pants, they were too big for him.
I love Married with Children. It's my dad's favorite show. I love Married with Children. Al Bundy's the best.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the fact that
classic.
lady stopped him. What do you
Pardon?
think? What do you think her impression of him was? The lady that asked, "Excuse me, sir, you need a membership. Let me see your membership."
Do
You
you think
know
they
what
would
I-
have questioned her, brought her to the stand at the trial?
Perhaps.
You think he asked her the same type of questions he asked the officer? Excuse me, do you question everyone who comes through the door?
Honestly, I think that whenever he was going in there, he might have a Costco membership. He might have one, and maybe he forgot it, and he was trying to go in without it. She's like, "Do you have your membership?" "Oh, no, I don't have it, but I'm in here all the time. Can't you just like let me in? Like, like maybe, who knows?" But then, and then
Man, she
she's like,
definitely
"No,
earned her
no, you can't. You can't come in here without it." "Oh, okay." Then he walks out. But again, like maybe he went in there to talk to her. Like you mentioned, like maybe he wanted to talk to her, but like how would he know that she was even there if he hasn't been there before? That's why I'm thinking he probably had one. He just maybe forgot it, maybe, and then he just wanted to talk to her.
Every time I go into Sam's, when I don't have mine on me, that's when I get stopped. I have mine ready to pull out and be like, "Here I am. I'm a Sam's customer."
You have to show it every time, right? Like
No.
no.
Sometimes they profile you. Their
Okay.
profile. The
Oh,
trick
yeah.
is not to make eye contact. Just go by them like
Oh,
you don't.
Costco here, they have like machines at the fucking door. You have to scan your card or you can't get in. You can't go.
Oh, that's cool though. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, we have those machines.
Are you a Costco member, Jeff?
Yeah, I am. We actually just renewed it the last time we went, and it's like, ouch, that's expensive.
How much is it
I
in the
have to
States?
renew it. Oh man, it's over $100 or something.
Yeah, it is.
I can't
You have the
remember.
executive, I guess, then, or whatever it is.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's like
Okay.
a black card.
Yeah, the executive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, here
it's,
it's 100 and some. Yeah, 160, I think, or something Canadian, whatever.
I might feel myself trying to get into Costco without a card.
I'm going there tomorrow morning, and I haven't been in like
Film
3
yourself.
weeks.
Have a girl film you as you're walking in and kind of give the perspective Brian would have given, because he walked in like, maybe if I walk in confident, they won't notice me.
And then he walked out very confident, like
Yeah, he
drinking the
did.
water. Like it
Yeah.
almost needs we need to add music, like the soundtrack to it. Like
Well, I did make a TikTok of it, and I added one
Did
of
ya?
those sounds in the background. Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
me see if I can find that one.
Oh, it's
on
way
your-
down the list. Oh my god, you'll never. It's gonna take you forever. It's right down. I have so many TikToks. It's down the list. It's so far
Don't
down.
challenge me like that.
I'm surprised he didn't drop the water bottle like a dropping the mic moment. Like I'm out of
Mhm.
here. You're not
Yeah,
letting me into this Costco.
yeah. But I don't
You
know.
guys, I'm going home.
Like one day, I really do hope it goes to trial. Honestly.
I mean, what are the chances of everything? I mean, I just think of for me to believe that he's innocent and didn't do it, I really have to believe in just so many just coincidences. It's like
There's no such thing as coincidences,
I
though.
mean, what are the chances? Doesn't it seem like the chances would be greater that, like, okay, so there was a murder, we saw a white Elantra, what were you doing? I was asleep. Okay, done, case closed. Let's go to the next possible suspect. But
Oh no, I was
You
stargazing.
were driving. You have a tendency to drive. You like to drive alone at night. You know, your phone was off. You have a white Elantra. You studied this stuff. You wrote a research paper about a woman stabbed in a house and how to go in and not bring your DNA in, and how to go out and not take the DNA of the crime scene with you. You have the knowledge to
Right.
do, and you all happen to have a K-bar that you purchased too, and a sharpener. I mean, like I think I put in comment back a while ago, I bought a
But you
K-bar,
don't.
but didn't buy a sharpener because I don't plan to use it. You know, but a sharpener means that you plan on it's going to need to be sharpened. So what's he planning?
Right. Exactly.
Do you
I
think
think
that he
we would
tried
have.
to bring out an alibi? Go ahead,
No,
Sonia. I'm
no. I think
sorry.
he was really gonna just say. He just said the stars and the fucking sun. The stars and the sun. So contradicting. The stars and the and the moon and stars. Stargazing. No, I don't think he had an alibi. He really didn't have anything to back it up.
And if you were innocent, this is something that nobody ever talked about. Once again, if you were innocent, you would be hunting for receipts,
Right.
hunting for pictures, and in all this time before he even pleaded, you would be hunting just to prove you're innocent by your alibi.
Right.
Right.
Because if he had anything that would have proved where he was during those 2 hours, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about him.
That's it.
What's also interesting too is that the people that the Probergers think did it or might have done it, none of them like called for a lawyer right away. They answered questions. They gave their phones over. They took DNA swabs.
Who's on?
But Brian was like, "Give me a lawyer."
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. But who? Because I haven't been keeping track of that side at all. Like I can't be bothered. So what's the word on the street right now? Are they still going after Jack Decor? Who are they saying that is like that did it?
I mean, I still think they have just a myriad of theories, and I mean, basically anyone in Moscow is a better
guilty?
choice than
Okay.
Brian to them. But I mean, right now they're so focused on Cy and all that Cy is saying. Personally, I wonder, and maybe you guys know more than I do, but part of me wonders if, and I thought this a long time ago, that Ann Taylor was keeping back stuff from Cy, wasn't giving him all that he needed to actually make, a full assessment of things. And which is why I felt
believe
like he
that.
might have said things like, I reserve the right to be wrong. Because if you're working for somebody and they're holding back stuff so that they get the statements out of your mouth that they want you to say. And so I think it's interesting now that he's speaking freely. I don't think he was able to speak freely under Anne. Anne
Yeah.
was surely shut that crap down. You ain't Cy, you're not permitted. You're not allowed to say that. You keep
Right.
that stuff to yourself. That is not, you're on our team. You keep that to yourself. I don't care how guilty you think he is. We have a job to do. And now that he's free to speak, and he must have, if that's true, if that's how it was for him, man, what a shitty position to be in. You're an expert in this stuff,
Right.
and the stuff is telling you this is the guy, and you're not able to say it. I'm glad he's able to say it. I hope he is on the prosecution's side if this goes to trial, because
Yeah.
someone like him, I don't know how many people can articulate what all this data and with his understanding. I remember, a lot of the bigger name Probergers with their YouTube channels and everything saying, "Oh, Nick Balance with the FBI is no match for Cy Ray."
Oh, I
Cy
remember
Ray is
that.
gonna we got him. Brian was not there. He was at Wah Park.
Oh yeah. Well, Cyree did mention that he in one of his recent interviews, well, he's only done two, but in those interviews, he did mention that, and he's surprised that Anne hasn't come to him to say shut the fuck up yet. Like he was like, "Oh, you found it." Anyways, that's why he's so
No, you
quiet. He's
don't.
going down my fucking list. When did I post this? When did I post that? The date should be there.
It looks like 9/26/2025. Let's
Oh
see
my God, there
exactly
we
what
go.
Sonia did.
Olivia Gonzalez worded this perfectly. He is a wannabe. He's a wannabe. First of all, okay, you're trying to look all casual, business-like, but then you've got your back pocket like sticking all the way out. Your side pocket also is sticking all the way out. He's so sloppy. And your shirt is like tucked out at the front. You've got these old ass runners with these old ass casual dress up pants.
Old ass.
Anyways, just a wannabe. I am so sorry. I love to take digs at Brian. If you've been following me since my main channel, this is what I do. I do not like this guy. He's an absolute wannabe. Olivia Gonzalez, word. That's it. But
That is so funny. This is what I do.
this is what I do. I get it from my mom. Okay, let me be real. I get it from my mom. I'm kind of like judgmental a little bit, and that's something I am working with. What's this? This is
I
mine.
found the one.
Oh, the Costco one. Oh, there you go, Jeff. There's a sound. That's a sound. That's the one I chose for this video. Oh my God. Wait, where is he? Oh, there he is.
I heard you have killer
Look at
symbols
his
here.
frail walking ass right there. Did you see his frail ass walking?
Oh yeah.
He almost fell down. He was so damn frail. Did you see that?
The way he walked there, yeah.
Hey, do you think that back pocket that's sticking out is from when he pulled the knife and sheath out of the back pocket and he never tucked it back in?
Maybe.
Here we go. Look at that.
Oh yeah. She's like, hey, you need your membership. Oh, I don't have it. Can you let me in anyways? No? Oh, really? Are you sure? No, sir. Come on. I'll buy you coffee later. No. All right then. Fuck you, bitch.
I really need an eyebrow trimmer. This was the only place that had them in stock.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I can't believe he found those. You know, he's all pissed off. He's like, God damn it. I don't remember this. Was this this was after, eh? This was after the murders? That was after the murders, right?
Yeah, that
He
was
was
the next,
he was
that
like
was
he
the
was like walking
13th.
like he was like somebody just rejected him or something. You know
Yeah,
what
he
I
was
mean?
pissed.
Did you see how he's slouching forward and walking like, fuck you, bitch?
Yeah, absolutely. That was really good to do a commentary too. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I swear. He's we
You
shall
guys,
find
I'm
out.
going home.
Yeah, exactly. Are there any new documents lately? Like I'm not very good with the documents, and like how do we know? You guys tell me when it comes to the documents, how do you know which one was just posted except for the date? Like right now we have the case summary, but I mean other than that, like people find these documents like from 2024, 2025. Does it say like new or something when it's out, when it gets unsealed or something? Like how did people get?
I think on the website where they're posted, it's the the newest ones float to the top.
Okay.
And they're sorted that way. I think I don't really look at a lot of documents, but I do listen to a lot of pro burgers talk about the documents, read them.
Yeah.
In my opinion, misinterpret them so that it fits their narrative.
Yeah.
None of them are experts, and it's so funny that they would toss aside the expert that was their chief expert, Cyril.
Yeah, you were
just like
mentioning
he's
that, and I wanted
trash,
to talk about
garbage.
that. Yeah, when you said like the defense or the prosecution will, I'm thinking because Cyril clearly states that he thinks that Brian's guilty. So I do think that Anne was keeping things from him for her narrative. I do feel that as well. And so, but and I do feel the prosecution would have used them on their side.
Do you
Yeah.
really think that Cyrus, listening the way he talks and the way he presents himself, do you really think he gives a shit about what the police think about him, or he used to be a police
No,
officer? Do you really think
No.
that he's at that point that like, oh my God, I'm talking this way because somebody's gotten to me and I got to change my tone?
no,
I believe that he don't give a shit what people think about him, and
same.
he's basically speaking
He's
now
the
that he
expert too, by the way. Like, like he's the expert. He's probably laughing at everybody saying, guys, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I have the evidence. I've seen it. I have it. I'm the one that discovered it. Like, what the fuck?
And
So
Right.
don't you think it's weird that, Turvey and Wickham, they were prevalent to see everything that we haven't seen. And that's the best they got in that book is a clump of hair and
oh yeah.
supposedly the knife sheath was on the floor. I mean, that's the best you got of everything you saw.
Yeah.
Everything you saw.
Yeah.
Oh, and diluted blood on the ping pong table.
Right.
So of all
He
the
explained that
crime
though.
photo videos and images, and how even actually walking, didn't they say, Cy said he walked through the house. I
Yes,
don't
he did.
remember
Yeah.
if Kirby
Yeah.
did or
No,
the other.
Turvey and Whitcomb have never been in the house. They've never been near the scene whatsoever.
So to
And
see
I don't know if they
all these
even have the
autopsy
documents,
photos, to see all these
evidence.
autopsy photos and everything, and to really understand an investigative process, I don't know how you would gamble your professional reputation based on a lie. How can you ever come back from that?
Right.
And this is not one of these localized cases. This is worldwide. So
Hmm.
everybody's going to know if, in actuality, that debris in Ethan's hand was actually just hair, a couple strands of random hair. Like I said last night, how many TikToks were filmed in that room? You don't think girls shed? I
Yeah.
don't think those hairs could have been some girl's hair that fell behind the bed.
Yeah. Hmm. I'm
Possible.
wondering about that. Like, I know that there was like scalp and hair behind the bed, like where the house bled. You guys saw that, right? The unredacted photos where you can see where they fuck up, and then you can see the clumps.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I don't think it was that he had in his hand. Like, it wasn't anything like that. But I'm just wondering if like Brian planted something in his hand. How would he know there's a clump unless he's read the book and unless he's been in contact with Turvey or Whitcomb? It's possible. So how would he know about the clump?
Well, I bet every creator that feels that he's innocent has probably wrote him
Oh yeah, probably too.
they probably
Yeah.
also email to
Yeah.
his tab, but he probably corresponds with every
Yeah.
creator
Yeah.
that
I'm
is
sure he
fighting
does.
for his innocence and his glory.
Yeah, because he does thank them in his little thing. I want to thank
Yeah,
everyone
if
who believes in me. Blah blah blah.
the
I mean,
public
if
has
you're
the
innocent,
public
dude.
has the right to know. The
Yeah,
public has the right to know. Okay,
yeah,
Brian, why
yeah.
didn't you open your fucking mouth when you could have and just
Right.
told us the truth and said, look, this is what I want to say. I know I wasn't supposed to say it, but I'm going to set the record straight right now. These
Yeah,
fucking people lied to me. I'm not going to let them, send me down for something I didn't do, all this. If he really had that mentality, how come he didn't do it in front of the judge?
exactly.
I can
He had
Exactly.
his opportunity.
if I was going to
Mhm.
prison and I didn't do something, I would take every last ditch effort to be heard. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have waited a year later.
I'm surprised with his demeanor, right? That he didn't at that point in time. It's weird, right? Like, when he was pleading guilty, like I'm surprised he didn't actually say any other statement and like, whatever, try to backpedal or do whatever. I'm surprised he didn't. Like, he looked very submissive during that plea deal and everything. but that's not how he was. You know, when he was going to hearings and he was in those suits, like he felt like a fucking like god, I'm sure. Like, you know, how he's sitting there like this and like
Right.
this and just very
Here's the
dark.
church, here's the steeple.
Yeah.
Open the door, here's the people.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm surprised too. Like I'm surprised he was like that on the final hearing. Yeah.
I part of me wondered if like Olivia had gone so far as to call him or to like insinuate that he was a virgin, if he would have snapped, and it would have been like in A Few Good Men, you know, when Jack Nicholson, you know, loses his cool and it's like, you can't handle the truth, and we have walls and we got to protect those walls. I would have loved for him to just flip out and say, yes, I freaking did it. I do it again tomorrow.
Yes, I was hoping for an outburst, you know. I was really hoping for an outburst.
It looked like he was thinking about it. I mean,
he was pissed though.
His head was cocked, and he was like, you know, you could tell that he was about to say something. But according to everybody else, Ann Taylor had a cattle prod against his leg, threatening to shock him if he moved. You know?
I thought Ann looked like she had probably just heard his confession not long before that.
She looked like a deer.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
you did
she
this,
looked.
Brian? It's like,
she looked
all right,
devastated.
Let's go see if we can get you a plea. Let's beg for a plea deal from Thompson. See if we can get one. And then she just sat there, you know, quiet and.
I mean, I've heard experts say that she might just, you know, dive on the sword to give him another shot.
Yeah.
Like to say, I wasn't.
Well, yeah, that was Cyree that said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said they have an unhealthy relationship, like business, whatever they have. It's very. She truly believes he's innocent, supposedly, but according to Cyree, like she really, I think like he got to her. Like I think he literally charmed his way. Because whenever he first walks into the can you play that TikTok? Actually, hold on, let me show you. Whenever he goes into the courtroom, and this is the first time he goes to court, and it's one of my most recent ones. I'll show you the thumbnail, but you can tell by his eyes that he looks. This one.
Hold on. Let me see which one it is.
It's really recent. I even slowed it down. How he's looking at Anne, like I look at his clenched jaw. Like, anyways, it's
what's it called?
Well, there's not. It's not called anything, but it's on the 15th of July, so it's recent.
The fuckery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Well, you know, I have a trailer mouth sometimes. Like I like the fuck word. I don't give a fuck.
Trailer mouth.
but yeah. So that one just makes me feel like I don't know.
Well, look at the one with Paris Hilton update.
Oh God.
Hilton.
Yeah.
Go from that one and count them back and let me know how far back. I'm looking for the. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, it's recent.
I found it. His eyes. These
eyes. 12 can find it. He's got really good investigative skills.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, and this is a repost from 2 years ago, and I still feel the same when I look at his eyes. This first time he meets Anne or sees Anne in the courtroom.
Imagine seeing that shit in your sleep.
Just wait. He does that eye thing. Keep going.
Hold on.
You'll see. Look when he looks down, right there. He's looking at her like, you're my next one. I'm gonna fall in love with you. Yeah.
Somebody left you a cute little comment says, just because you look a certain way or your eyes look a certain way doesn't make you a killer.
Whatever.
He has an
Whatever.
obsession with blondes. He also
Yes,
had
he
many
does.
photos of blonde women in his camera roll.
Don't
Yeah.
you love how people leave these comments? It's like the assumption is like, Sonia, you're only looking at this one little piece of evidence. That's the only thing you're considering. You need to look at more. Of course, we're looking at a ton more. That's the thing. It's the.
That's
I think
just a
Cy
part.
Ray put it well. He used a different word, but it's the summation of all of the stuff. That,
Mhm.
Somebody
it's gotta
says
be
the
him.
background music doesn't help either.
That's a theme song to the Idaho 4. That's truly the theme song. My main channel that got banned, that's the theme song for the Idaho 4. It's been like that since it came out. It
He
happened.
didn't do it. Look to Dylan and company.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
He
I swear.
testified.
I get
He
so many
testified.
stupid comments. I don't go through them too much. I should actually maybe put a filter on the word Dylan so they don't get published. Because I have a few other filters.
Something else happened in that house. I don't care. I'm telling you, the surviving roommates were involved.
Yeah.
Stories don't add up.
Mhm. Mhm.
They never will, according to these people.
Yeah.
He's not the killer.
No.
If anything, he was the analyzer and the cleaner because of his severe OCD
Yeah.
and background in criminology.
But
They needed to tell to see if they could all get away with it, and they did. Well, listen here, dumbass. According to you, you're putting him in the house by being the cleaner and the analyzer, so he is involved.
yeah, I mean, yeah, he definitely is. He definitely is. But like, I mean, oh, that's the
Sorry.
that's Cider's case. Ugh. Yeah, don't play that. Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. We called it, didn't we? We called it Netflix is coming. The Netflix documentary trend. That was a fun one.
Oh, there's that house.
Yeah.
There's that house.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Do you follow this case, Jeff? The Cider's case?
No, I haven't. I haven't
No.
looked into that. I think I've seen some thumbnails on it and thought, let me watch this, but I just.
Hey, that
haven't
looks
gotten
like
to
the
it.
inside of the Idaho 4 house.
No, it
I
does
thought you were
not.
going to say my house.
That's not even close. But I mean, I think that Anne and Brian have definitely, like, I mean, during the hearings, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like Brian would look up at her like in admiration, like, you know how he admired Catherine Ramsland.
Yeah.
Like he just looked at her with such admiration, like a little child looking at like, you know, just like, I don't know. And so I think he was able to charm his way with her. I don't know that he confessed anything. Could he have? Maybe, but I don't know.
Don't you think it's how long can somebody stay quiet about this? Don't you think there's part of him that wants the history books to record correctly what he did that night?
Yeah.
And I mean, I would think that he would. I mean, he's probably loving that everybody's got all their speculations. He's like, oh my gosh, everybody's so far off from what I did that night. And there's some people that believe all kinds of crazy stuff. And some people are getting close, you know, but you would think he would want, because like, you know, if Ted Bundy if he was kind of enamored by Ted Bundy at least has spoken about things he's done. He's spoken in the courtroom. The story is a little more transparent, but Brian is just, what have we heard him say? Yes.
Yes. Yeah. That's it. But yeah,
he had help.
Yeah,
God,
I don't. I think in a way, I hope he actually comes out with some kind of interview. I don't want him to get any money out of it, though. I guess I don't want him to do that, but I mean, that's the only way that we'll ever really know what happened. Like if he does a sit down interview.
Too bad he's not like a Jodi Arias type that running
or
to
Jeffrey
the
Dahmer or something.
You know what? Reading some of these comments, it's almost like I can tell you which creator said this shit. Like this one right here. He ain't do it. The roommate did. And they had 8 hours to clean it up. Y'all keep believing them.
Yeah, I mean, no. It's always going to be... It's always going to be weird, the 8 hour gap. But I mean, when you're traumatized, but I mean, at the same time, like I questioned the phone activity that there was that night. a lot. Like there was a lot of phone activity for two girls that seemingly scared, but we don't know what. Well, we do kind of know what was being said. Some texts were actually written out what they were sending, right? So
let me
And
read this.
what kind of fear? It seems like the definition of what kind of fear changes things. If they feared like drunk frat guys pulling a prank, sexual assault was probably possible. Is that the kind of fear that they're talking about?
right.
Is it,
Hey,
is it that the fear wasn't, and their fear is different at different moments. When Dylan's being interviewed in front of the house by Officer Nunez, her fear at that moment is different than her fear then. And I think it's too easy to like overlook that and see like, well, it's like now that she has more understanding, yes, now it's like, well, God, I should have called 911.
Hmm.
That's probably running through her mind. But at the time, I mean, even Bethany said in a police interview, well, we were pretty sure that Kaylee was going to come down the next morning and give us a hard time, call us scaredy cats for the,
Right, I
because we
remember
thought it was a
that.
prank.
Hmm.
It's like Hunter, when he went to Steve G, mentioned to Steve that, it's like when I first got there, I thought maybe somebody was pranking the girls, and that's why, I went
Yeah.
in to see what I could do. So pranking, of course, this is the kind of thing that gets buried in the Pro-Burger chats. They don't say prank, don't say prank, and don't talk about Xana's 4:12 a.m. TikTok because we want it to happen at 2 a.m. So just don't even discuss it, just bury that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they
hey,
buried it in the same
let me
hole with
read
the
this.
K-bar knife.
Let me read this right quick. There was blood all over the house. No, there wasn't.
No, there
Dylan
wasn't.
went into Dylan went into Bethany's room. You telling me she didn't see blood? Also, Dylan said Kaylee was in the bathroom when it went quiet, but I thought she said she didn't hear anything. And Kaylee was found deceased in bed with Maddie. It doesn't make sense.
They love that expression.
Yeah.
Does
Make
it
it
does
make
make
sense.
sense.
I get a lot. Make it make sense. Make it make
See, the
sense.
thing is it can make sense if you have clear understanding of what's going on. I mean, it seems pretty clear to me that, and it's just my opinion, of course, I could be wrong, but it doesn't make sense that Kaylee is downstairs. It makes more sense that Dylan heard Xana running downstairs from the third floor and running to her room, trying to make it there. I'm sure she thought, if I can get to my room, close the door, I can wake up Ethan, I'll be safe. But that didn't happen.
No.
And they forget, it's like, well, Dylan said she heard Kaylee run down the stairs. Well, can Dylan see through a wall? I mean, is she Superman? Does she have eyesight to be able to see through the wall and say, oh,
Right.
I saw Kaylee? No, she heard footsteps. She said they sounded like Doc Martens coming down the stairs. Well, possible that Brian's footsteps coming down those stairs chasing after Xana to her room sounded like Doc Martens come down the stairs.
Yeah, he's
So
heavier.
Dylan is trying her best to understand and remember as much as she can from, a night being drunk. I mean, I know that's the thing too, is to see the Pro-Burgers try and discredit everything.
Hmm.
Now they're discrediting Ray, they're discrediting the law enforcement, they want to discredit Dylan as a witness, they want to discredit all that stuff. I mean, they basically are Ann Taylor wannabes. Like, they want to be like, Ann Taylor's out, I'll take the
Yeah.
role of, defense attorney. I got this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right.
But look at this video continuing to repeat. So we hear that Xana was on her cell phone at 4:12 on TikTok. How long did that video that she was watching repeat itself before she was murdered? That is the sad part. You're watching TikTok, and then the next
Yeah.
moment, you're losing your life.
I
But
mean, there's a
people,
very good chance she was. I mean, I don't know where she was when she was watching the video and then composed that comment. But I mean, if she was in the kitchen and doing it and then hit send and then started hearing commotion coming from upstairs. But see, the thing is that
Her
that
phone
would
was
have
found
been
in her
that would have been
room.
5 minutes later.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, I don't know at what point it happened, but I mean, it sure seems like she's commenting at 4:12. And the tests that I've done with TikTok comments with my own, just on random people's videos, that I post a comment, nice video, and then I'll type I'll sit there with my hand over the enter key. I'll say, nice video, and I'll type 12:11 and 45 seconds, go, enter. and then I use this website called Unfurl to verify what time I left that comment. And
Oh, cool.
I did like 4 or 5 tests. They were only ever off by like 35 to 40 seconds. And that's pretty damn accurate, if you ask me. And so,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think, but there was both phones, his and hers, were found in her room. So, and her food was found in the kitchen, was it not? Like,
Some of it.
yeah, so maybe she must have done it from her room,
yeah,
I would think.
yeah.
I mean, if you
Unless
received
she
it
had, she ran down the stairs with her phone in her hand.
Hey, think about this.
Maybe.
3:59. Let's say she gets her food at 4 o'clock. It takes
What if
about
she has a video of it? Like, they've never said what was on the victims' phones. They've never said that. What if
Yeah.
like one of them has like a video of something?
maybe she was a foodie, like took pictures of her food.
No, I mean, but like when she went upstairs, if she had her phone with her, maybe she was like, maybe she has like a recording of something that was happening, you know?
But think of the time frame. If she got the delivery at 3:59
Yeah.
and
By
she was on TikTok
4:05, she's probably done eating. 4:10, she's
and
probably
he
done
entered the
eating.
home, he entered the home probably about 4:06, 4:07. Because
Yeah.
his last round was at 4:05 around Queen Road Apartments, and he was going at a
4:06.
407 was the last one.
Yeah, 4:07. Yeah. So
Okay.
by the time he
4:07.
got inside, probably 4:08, 4:09, maybe even by 4:12.
So if she was still on her phone at 4:12, that means he was upstairs committing the murder
Without her
between
knowing.
4:08 to 4:12 ish.
Yeah. Yeah. And then maybe she heard something. That's when maybe she heard something and then ran
Well,
down.
even if she didn't, think about the timeline, okay?
Yeah.
So from 3:59 to 4:20, what? 21?
4:21. Well, let's say 4:20 by the
sign of
time he
life.
got to his car and left.
It was sign of life from 3:59 to 4:12 because Xana was alive, okay? That's the sign of life.
Yeah.
We don't know about the others because we have never heard anything about their cell phones. But if there's anything that collaborates any sign of life, then there is a timeline there.
Yeah.
So at 4:12, from 4:12 to what was it, 4:17? In that time frame, that's probably when the attack happened in the room. So
5 minutes,
that
like Cyrene
happened
said,
from-
it could happen.
yeah, 3 to 5 minutes. That's a
Yeah.
long ass fight. That's a
Yeah.
long fight.
Yeah.
So you're
Well,
telling me
also too,
that
I mean, you hear the attack at 417 from the neighbor's camera, and you hear
Yeah.
the dog barking start right at that time. I mean, I'm convinced that Murphy did what my dog would do. If two people are in the house, and now again, I'm assuming that not again, but I'm assuming that Murphy didn't necessarily hear Maddie and Kaylee being killed. I think he was in the other room. He could have been asleep. It's a party house. Whatever noise is coming from across the hall, he probably doesn't really care. But if he hears two people running down the stairs, I know my dog would run after. It's like, what's going on? You know, run after and see. Which means that Murphy would have seen Xana probably being killed, and my dog would have done the same thing, started barking with that like anxiety-filled bark that's incessant and doesn't stop and keeps on going.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a dog that is very freaked out. When me and my wife raise our voices a little bit in an argument, he will start barking, and he will like get you can see the anxiety in him, and it's a beautiful thing because then it calms us down. But so I think that's what we hear at 417. We hear the sound of the attack. I think that is the sound of Brian reaching Xana as she's running to her room, probably throwing her into the wall or onto the floor, attacking her. The dog starts barking at 417. I think he takes out, Ethan and Xana, and the dog is still barking. And I think that barking is the thing that probably saved Dylan's life, because Brian is like, this dog is going to blow my cover. I got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And
Good
So
point.
how is that not clear? We have the timeline.
Yeah.
We have the time stamped, okay? 3:59, 4:12, and then 4:21 with the camera catching that white car hauling ass. So from 3:59 to 4:21, there is a timeline right there. Plus, the Linda Lane cam had that car circling around Queen Road Apartments.
Right.
That's so hard to believe that that is probable that that could have been him. How is that
Yeah,
so hard to prove?
yeah, exactly.
It
It's
very much answers the question. Make it make sense. It's like, okay, well, it makes sense.
it does. Absolutely.
I think, yeah, Occam's razor says, it's usually the simplest answer is the real, true answer. And I think that's, I mean, if you just, the thing is, too, it's like it's really unfortunate that the people that are on the other side of this they just can't look at the police officers and law enforcement without disdain, or that they're corrupt. They don't know what they're talking about. If they could kind of remove that and just talk about everything, they'd probably see it's like, man, these cops went in there. They've got a blank slate. They got nothing. They got, okay, where is she? Where is she? Where's the girl that's passed out? Holy crap, we've got a murder. And then eventually, over time, they're talking to people. They're figuring stuff out. We look at it. We've been following this for years. We know so much about everything that's been said, all the things that there are to talk about regarding this case, but they had nothing, and they were starting at the beginning. And what is it, like the last time they had a murder of this magnitude was like 7 years prior.
Right.
I mean, if you ask
Well,
me
yeah.
to do something tomorrow that I haven't done for 7 years, don't expect me to do be perfect at it. We're gonna have to call
They
in
did
some
fuck
people,
up a lot, for sure. They
Yeah, so it
definitely
wasn't
did mess
perfect.
up. Yeah.
That's
But
a
damn
great
if they
point.
didn't solve it.
That's a
Yeah.
great point. It took them 6 weeks to do something that all these other people, almost 4 years later, are incapable of doing, is
Yeah.
believing any evidence occurred that would point toward a killer. They don't have any scientific data, no forensic thing that they can back up. All they have is assumptions.
Yeah.
Assumptions based on what likely happened or what could have happened or who was involved. Who would have had the motive to hurt whoever? But you have
Yeah.
no scientific data to back it up. If you can't prove it in court, it's useless. And it's not evidence. It is just hearsay.
Yeah.
And the piece is that all you're doing is just trying to assimilate a chain of events that has no corroborating evidence. So therefore, it could never be presented to a jury to get any kind of conviction. Where is the DNA evidence of any of these people that are supposedly involved? Where's
Right.
the DNA of them on any of the bodies? Any of
Exactly.
their blood, was any of their blood in the house? Well, they found blood at whatever, Jack S's house. Okay, well, they found blood. He lives there. He's going to bleed. Whose house doesn't have blood or
hmm
dry blood in it, right? See how I did that? That's
hmm
how people do it.
Mhm.
But,
Yeah.
the fact of the matter is, it's not where you found evidence outside the home. Did you find evidence inside the home that could collaborate your theories of who was involved? If you can't attach evidence to your theory of who was involved or who could have, would have, should have done it, then all it is just assumption and it will never go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's all it is, it's just assumption. To believe that Dylan did this, but there's no evidence anywhere spoken that any
There's
of
no
the
way that she.
was ever presented that she had any of her DNA or her blood, or she had any cuts or any
Yeah.
kind of visible evidence that would have presented the fact, her
Yeah.
shoe prints, any of that stuff has ever been presented that she was involved. Bethany, either
Right.
Hunter, Emily, whoever and whoever and whoever and whoever and whoever, just because it was a supposed fight doesn't mean that there was an actual fight
hmm
in the reference that we understand a fight could have been. And
Right.
why would you wait to go and hurt somebody in their sleep? If you really wanted to humiliate them, why not fight him the next day in public in front of all his frat friends and whoop
Right.
his ass? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Exactly.
Why would you be a coward and go kill somebody in the middle of the night? They're
Yeah.
trying to make a perpetrator be the same person as Brian that went into that home in the middle of the night and killed these 4 people.
Right.
Anybody but Brian. So, well, what motive would any of these people have to kill these 4 people in the middle of the night like they were killed? They were
Right,
killed.
and they wouldn't. These killers wouldn't be quiet. They would be like, "You humiliated me. You're going down now." You know, they would be. They wouldn't be. Ironically, this killer, as he killed, was silent, just like Brian is now. So he's good at being silent. You know, a drunk frat guy that's really pissed off and wants to hurt somebody with a,
Yeah.
they just happen to have a K-bar knife. They're going to be yelling, screaming. You're going to hear things said. No, this was somebody who went in like a thief in the night. Or like a pedophile in the night, and
Yeah, I keep
Yeah.
thinking that
took him out.
Yeah.
like a pedophile. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's
Wow.
funny they say that they criticize Olivia for calling him a pedophile. She didn't call him a pedophile. She just said that the way that he went in was like a pedophile would.
Right.
I mean, that's not saying he's a pedophile. You know, they love to twist the words around, especially
Yeah.
Steve G. Steve G has a very bad problem with saying things that can be interpreted in multiple ways, and that just sucks. You know. Oh, the end of the Today. Did you see the Today interview?
Yes.
They were on the Today
Yeah.
Show.
Yeah.
And the
I
way
posted
he
it today.
phrased, the way he's talking about, with the thing that they're doing with the helping people solve their unsolved crimes. But when he says
That one?
he's meaning, yeah, that one. He's
Murder has a
meaning,
name.
what he was saying was he's meaning he wants to help people catch the killers, like in this case. But the way it can be interpreted is like he said, the words he used was like, so we can help find the killers of this case. You know, it's like when I heard him say that, I said, oh crap.
Oh,
They're gonna
they
run with
twisted
They're
that.
gonna think that Steve just
But he does that a
admitted to-
lot. He did it at
Yeah.
CrimeCon. He said Kaylee was the adopted daughter. Everybody went after
Oh my gosh,
him
yeah,
for
they
that.
still just the other day. That's a couple
Yes.
days ago. Yep.
So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
God, guys, like, plus, I mean, I know that night, like, I have to say on that because that day, that was a Saturday. That was a Saturday when they first got there. I saw when they got there, like, not when they literally got out of the car, but I saw them because they were doing a speech on Sunday and a meet and greet, which I attended both. So on Saturday was their first, and that's whenever the Gonzalez's posted on their Facebook. Anyways, we just got here. That was on Saturday. So that night, and whether or not he was drinking or not, who gives a shit? Like, like seriously. But that day, supposedly at that night, him, Christy, Brian Enton said it right on stage that they went and they all tied one on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So they all got drunk on Saturday. So, whether or not Steve had a few during the day because of nerves or whatever, who cares?
Right.
If
If anybody
like,
deserves a drink, it's him.
yeah. So I
And
mean,
if anybody is there and everybody wants to buy him a drink, it'd be him. So,
but anyways, like they all got together that night and on Saturday night. So they're all a little hungover on Sunday, but not too much because they were good. They looked pretty good. They were really sweet. But yeah, I just I thought that was, of course they're going to twist things. And then Christy came and kind of corrected him. No, Steve, and he does it all the time, but Steve, he like, it happens, like I say the wrong word at random times. Like I'm not even talking about something and I say a word that's completely different from what I'm even talking about. I don't know if I had a stroke or something, but I swear to God, like I will be talking about, I don't know, hats, and then I'll talk about cats or something. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. And a lot of people can vouch for this. Like they'll be like, what are you talking about? No, I just fucked up my words again. Like, I don't know, perimenopause too, maybe brain fog. But like, so yeah, I get it. Like he does it a lot. He really does it a lot.
I mean, there's a difference between what a person said and what they meant.
Exactly.
And I don't respect people who are going to take what they said and then use it as proof for what they want. They want you to have said.
Yeah.
Without giving you the, like how many times, I swear I want to go like just to find, Stacy Chapin in a Starbucks and just come up to her and say, "Hey, just tell me what you meant by 2 a.m. is a dark hour," because people are taking that and running with it in so many different directions.
Yeah.
What exactly did you mean? And so many of the pro-burgers don't even realize she made that statement on November 15th. That's when Seattle, King 5 Seattle posted it on their website. Now, that doesn't mean it wasn't recorded like 6 hours earlier, right? It could have even been the day before. So
Right.
what I'm saying is they're using that to say, oh, she knows a lot. She knows a lot. She even said 2 a.m. is a dark hour. It's like, well, yeah, but she said that like the very next day when there was very little known at that time, So it's like, I
Right.
don't understand.
But I wonder why she did say that. I always question that as well.
I was just gonna ask that. I was just gonna
Yeah,
ask.
I really do want to
My
know.
gut feeling, if I were like a betting man, I would say that this might be the time where she felt this was the last moment where I knew for sure that he was still alive. But after 2 a.m., I'm not sure.
Like a mother's intuition.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, or I mean, like my uncle, when he took his life, my mom had a dream where he was floating above her as a little kid because she kind of helped raise him and she helped him,
Wow.
draw, his handwriting and learning how to write with which was when they went to the apartment and where it all happened. When she looked down and saw his handwriting, that was one of the first things she thought is like, there's the handwriting that I taught him when he was a little kid, how to make his S's and his O's and his letters and stuff. But oh man, I'm going off on a tangent. I'm going to get lost where we were even talking about. But the dream, the dream or vision or whatever that he was floating above her, and it was that dream was the night that he took his life. And
Oh no.
so who knows? Maybe Stacy Chapin did have some kind of like a
Intuition.
mother's intuition that just you have
Mhm.
triplets and like something this awful happens to one.
Right. But also
Who
could it be Hunter and Maisie, right? They got texts from Ethan that night at a specific night, right? And Ethan said, "I love you." And it wasn't every day that Ethan would say that. So
right.
maybe that was like the final text, maybe like is perhaps. I don't know.
But what sucks though is that these things, like, it would be so helpful if Stacy herself would just say what you meant, or Steve would say they did. Steve, you said they didn't have to go upstairs. What did you mean by that? Because I'm
Right.
sitting here thinking, as a father, are you really just kind of saying, it's like, that's my daughter, I wish they hadn't gone upstairs?
Right.
Or are you simply saying, if this is somebody who wanted to feel what it was like to kill somebody, they could have gone in, killed somebody, and gone out without putting a foot on a step, going
Right.
upstairs or downstairs. And maybe that's all he meant. But the thing is like, it's like, that's what sucks, is if like that's all you meant. But look where they took it. Look where they took your words.
But
They took your words, and
it's
they've written a book about it now. It's like you're.
Also, when
Yeah.
he said, don't make me be the alpha. I don't want to do it.
Yes.
Right.
That statement
She
right
said a lot of
there.
things like that are questionable. Absolutely. A lot of things.
Oh, like there's a YouTuber. I don't want to mention her name, but I mean, I used to respect her, but now I think I've kind of lost respect. But she used to make fun so much of like, I paid that bill. I paid that bill. Remember he said that? It's like, I sent
Yeah.
my daughter to college. She came back in a box. I paid that bill. And it's like, you're really going to make fun of that and at the same time misunderstand what he meant by that? I think all he's saying is like, look, I've been through hell. I have a right to speak on this. I have lost the
Right.
most. My mouth is not going to stay quiet on this.
And good for
Which
him.
back then we thanked him for that. We were like, this
Yeah.
is our hero. This is now, he's going the way of Cy is going now. Cy's like, you're a hero. Yes, Steve. Yeah, get those law enforcement to let us
Yeah,
know stuff.
exactly.
Now you're the enemy of us. Now Cy Ray's the enemy. And Taylor's the enemy. It's like, there's a
Yeah.
quote. There's a quote I'm going to share that I think just sums it up. And it says, I have it on my desktop. People don't want to hear your opinion. They only want to hear their opinion come out of your mouth. That's all they want. If you're not doing that, then we don't need you.
Well
Did
then
it-
become your own fucking creator and talk about your own stuff then.
Yeah.
I'm not here to talk for you. You talk for yourself.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right.
Well, guys,
Yeah.
it's been 3
I,
hours and 30 minutes.
yeah, I know. I was just about to say, okay, guys, it's bedtime. I got to go to Costco in the morning.
Oh, don't forget your membership card.
Oh, yeah,
Let's
it's my
play a
dad's.
song on the Let's play a song on the way out. Sonia made this song up earlier.
No, I did
Here's
not,
some.
but it's my genre. It's my genre stuff.
Here we go. Maestro, cue that music. Y'all don't go anywhere. Listen to this.
I'll mute.
The silence screams before the storm breaks loose. I taste the copper, the bitter juice. You painted lies in shades of gray and black. There is no turning forward or back. I watch the bridge burn down to ash and dust. Betrayal cuts deeper than any rust. You feel the ground shaking beneath your feet. The rhythm of our end is complete. I wear the scars like armor on my skin. Let the chaos and the noise begin. You thought I'd break under the weight of pain, but I rose up standing in the rain. Your hollow words are echoes in the void. Every promise you made was destroyed. I see the fear behind your mask disguise. Truth is a weapon that never lies. Do you hear the thunder calling out your name? Nothing left but ashes and the flame. I wear the scars like armor on my skin. Let the chaos and the noise begin. You thought I'd break under the weight of pain, but I rose up standing in the rain. Burn it all down to the bone. I am king upon this throne. No mercy for the weak at heart. Tearing every lie apart.
Wow, that is fitting for tonight, is it not?
Yeah, my God, I love that.
That rocks.
I know it's AI, but it's still fucking like I love the like it sounds like Hailstorm. I Miss the Misery. Like that's the kind of genre I was going for, like the whatever, like the raspiness. She did really
What is
well
it?
on.
Hailstorm?
Yeah, Hailstorm. I
That's
Miss
not-
the Misery. That's the
Oh,
original
okay.
song.
I'll look
That
that up.
was the inspiration behind that. He did whatever he did, Gage, and I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds really good.
Live 365, where you can hear songs just like that. 12 Radio
Yeah.
Network. Go check it
Yeah.
out. Go check it out.
That's really cool,
Hey.
actually.
I'm
Well,
gonna,
see, I was telling Gage because I like my genre music like on my YouTube, and I think I'm gonna post a little bit more of those when I go e-bike riding. Like you'll hear what I'm listening to, which is mostly like industrial metal, like Tool, Perfect Circle,
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson. That's my genre. That's my shit. Like that's Papa Roach and Linkin Park and all that. So that's like, and when 12 Gauge was like showing me his radio thing today, I'm like, are you serious? You can add your own music and like whatever. I'm like, wow, I'm going to do one and it'll have my music, you know?
Yeah.
Very
There we
interesting.
go.
Very,
There we go.
very good. I love your little thing. You're so creative. Like seriously, you're very creative. And I admire that. Like you keep going. You keep going,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah,
Those
12
stuff-
sees the cool stuff. I see the cool stuff and I say, "Oh, that's cool." And then I just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, squirrel." I get distracted. 12 is like, "This is cool. I'm going to follow this. I'm going to do this next. I'm going to do this next."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I love
So good
listening
job.
to I mean, the notion of a radio station playing the songs that I love or the songs I grew up with. It really I'm going to look at some point I'm going to look into it and do the same because I would
Yeah.
love to be able to just turn the radio on and say, "I know I'm going to like the song that's playing right now."
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I mean, there's plenty of that type of music on there. There's all different types of genres. And if you like funky cold Medina, it's on there. I mean,
Oh my God,
there's
yeah.
straight. There's,
Oh my
I mean, there's
God.
all different types of stuff. I just added Counting Crows.
Oh yeah.
Do
All
you have
kinds
a
of
five-finger death punch?
Yeah, I haven't added any Five Finger yet, but
Yeah, I like
um,
them.
I'm on a budget, so I'd add a little bit at a time. So if
That's cool though.
you want to send me a huge ass super chat, go ahead. It'll go toward the radio station. And any request that you want me to add on there, just send a super chat. I'll add it. I did add something for you, Jeff. It's the Crossfade Cold is on
Oh,
there. I don't know if
yes.
you caught it
I
yet,
love that
but
song.
that song.
I remember I was on my way to New York to see a friend that's was in a comedy group up there. She actually went on to be in movies and was on Saturday Night Live and stuff. But it was my boss's daughter, and I was like, I got to catch your last show with I can't remember the name of the group that she was with. It's like the Groundlings or one of those types of comedy improv groups. So anyway, I was driving up there, stopped at a Walmart, and I went into the entertainment section, and they're playing this music video by this band I'd never heard of, and it was Crossfade, and the song was Cold. And it's like, that's all I
Yeah.
got to hear. And I grabbed the CD, I just took it and I bought it.
Wow.
I was like, I have to have this. And then I listened to the whole damn thing, and it's just, there's a couple CDs, well, more than a couple, but there's just CDs in my collection where it's front to back. Every song I just love. I don't need to skip any songs, and that's one of them.
Wow.
Well, I wanted to see Five Finger
Finger
Death
11 is, I feel like that. Yeah.
for my birthday, September 29th, even though my birthday's on the 10th.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go see them in Fort Worth. I've seen them once already, and that show from beginning to end, you leave drenched in sweat, and your ears are ringing so bad. Maybe that's why I have hearing loss because of all the concerts I've been to. But
Oh, that'll help. That'll
no,
definitely help. Yeah.
I'm gonna put some earplugs in, because they are that loud.
Yeah.
I mean, it is that loud. But there's a lot of music. There's Marilyn Manson on there. There's, like you said, Papa Roach, Linkin Park,
Yeah.
3 Days Grace. There's Van Halen on there, Skid Row, some 80s bands.
Yeah, that's
There's
cool.
a lot of different genres on there. So, and those of you that like Ella Langley, I put her song on there, Jelly Roll's on there. There's just a
Cool.
bunch of music on there. And there's at least 10 hours worth of music. There's original music written by me. And even there's some parts that are sang by me, even though Suno used my voice. I was experimenting with it early on. Now I think I've gotten the notion of how to keep your voice where it isn't so distorted. So
Yeah.
Hey, do you have this one on there?
don't do it, Jeff. Damn it.
Hey guys, I'm gonna go to bed. Love you guys.
Good night, Sonia.
It was-
Anything you want to say to the chat? Plug your channel right quick. Both of
All
them.
right. Well, Sonia D 78 on TikTok and YouTube. Those are the only socials, except and also D's True Crime on Facebook. But TikTok is my go-to first and foremost. And alternatively, it's here on YouTube. That's it. Thank you.
All right, see you later, Sonia. Thank
Good
you.
night, Sonia.
Bye guys. Good night. And it was a really fun live. Very good. Very
This was great. This was
yeah. And we'll have to do it again soon.
All right. Jeff, how about you? You want to plug your channel?
Yeah, I mean it's Jeff H the guitarist as my YouTube channel, but to be honest, if you're looking for Idaho stuff, I took it all down. I'm kind of trying to move on. I think actually right now though the grub truck video is there, but that's about it. Who knows? Maybe I'll put it back on there.
Yeah.
The one
You
thing that
want
I
to
kind
hear?
of forgot is by taking it off. I mean, I took it off because I just trying to move on from all this, but
Yeah.
then I noticed it's like, oh, okay, well the the monetization kind of just freezes and stops, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
shoot, maybe I should leave it up there just to keep those pennies dripping in, a little bit at a time.
Yeah. You want to hear another song before we get out of here? Maestro,
Sure,
cue that
sure.
music.
And what was that? She said, "Hailstorm, Mr. Misery." Is that what the song's called?
No,
Or
I
is
miss the misery.
I
I
miss the
miss.
misery? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm gonna look that one up. Can I play along with the song?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see if I can
Just
find the
don't
key.
get me copyrighted.
Wake up to a war before my feet hit the floor. Mind full of noise, heart tired of keeping score. Bills on the table, hope under the bed. I shake hands with fear, every word that I said. Life throwing punches I never could block. Clock keeps ticking, but I'm frozen in shock. Smiles in public, storms when I'm home. Surrounded by people, but dying alone. I carry my past like a loaded gun. Every regret says you're not the one. I try to run, but the shadows stick. Every road feels narrow, every choice feels quick. I've been fighting battles nobody sees. Depression digs trenches inside of me. Life don't play fair, it just loads the dice. Demons talk loud, whisper suicide. And the hardest fight I ever had is staring back at me in the mirror's glass. I argue with ghosts, I can't run. Whole versions of me saying, look what you've done. Promises broken, dreams half built. Carry the weight, carry the guilt. Some days I'm strong, some days I fold. Some nights the dark feels 10 feet cold. I tell myself just make it through, but the voice in my head says what's the use? I learned how to bleed without showing scars. How to laugh while falling apart. I fake the light when the room feels dead. Say I'm fine with the war in my head. I've been fighting battles nobody sees. Depression digs trenches inside of me. Life don't play fair, it just loads the dice. Demons talk loud, whisper suicide. And the hardest fight I ever had is staring back at me in the mirror's glass. Mirror says change, I say I'm trying. It says prove it, I say I'm surviving. Some days winning just means I breathe. Some nights courage is staying with me. Still fighting battles nobody sees. But I'm learning pain, don't get the keys. Life knocked me down, yeah, more than twice. But I'm still here, still paying the price. And if I fall standing tall. Cause I faced that mirror and didn't crawl. This ain't a victory song, it's a truth. A bruised up heart still chasing proof. If you're fighting too, you're not alone. We all go to war when we make it home.
Yep. There you have it.
It's a little easier on an electric than an acoustic.
There you have it. Jeff, I've enjoyed it, man. Thanks for hopping up here. It's been a
Yeah,
long
it's been a
time,
while
man.
since we've done this. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Yeah, I have never done a 4 hour in a long time, man. A long
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
This is almost 4 hours long. I usually just do an hour.
You got good friends, good stuff to say.
Yeah.
Good people. Can't,
Like sitting around a round table and just throwing, ideas out. No
right,
real
right.
intent. And for anybody who watches this on replay, there's no real guilt or innocent type stuff being spewed from here, so don't miss the interpretation of the whole live. The live was just merely like I said last night. I'm a hell of a shit talker, and that's what That's what I was doing tonight as well. I mean, Sonia had some great points. Jeff's had some great points. Whether you believe or you agree with any of us, does it really matter in the end?
Doesn't matter.
Does it really
I think the
matter?
conversation, it doesn't matter if you believe what other people believe. It just as long as the conversation can continue to flow.
Yeah.
And people can respect each other to just, what is it? What's the expression? You got 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that means you should listen twice as much as you talk. So we need to listen to each other and just, we don't have to agree, you know. Disagreement doesn't mean, there should be hate and, anger towards someone. You have a different opinion. We hate you for it. What, really?
You know,
You
one
have a
thing I
different opinion.
realized.
I love you.
One thing I realized when I got sober, and this was a humbling experience, that I knew nothing about living life. Most people have the illusion that they know more than they really do, and that they are more than they really are. When you really humble yourself and you get to that point of humility, you understand that you're not the greatest thing in your life if you really have something more than you believe in, and that's the most important thing in your life. You're a zero compared to that in which you believe. And that's how I try to live my life every day. So,
Yeah.
people can argue with me about my knowledge or anything that I believe or think. That's fine. It's still never going to change who I am and who I've become through all the darkness that I lived through in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really wish that some of these cases that I do cover and that I talk about, and I'll never excuse Brian's actions, but I wish that somebody could have stepped in his path and really, with the immovable object, those 4 people would still be alive.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's the same kind of thing I used to think about, like September 11th. It's like, why couldn't there have been like a neighbor that lived across the hall from one of those pilots on one of those planes that just stopped and had a few words with them, talked to them, and I mean, it probably is a super duper long shot. You can't talk somebody out of that
Right,
probably,
right,
but who
exactly.
knows? Maybe some little old lady could have, talked to
Yeah,
them. Maybe it
it's a good
reminded him of
thought, right?
mom. And then they
It's
said,
a good
"Screw this!
thought.
I ain't flying that plane for nobody."
And we don't know how many people did stand in the way of Brian, and he still ran right through the
Yeah.
guardrail and, kept on trucking.
It's a shame that the desires, assuming the desires maybe are, for, like an incel type desires. I mean, I don't understand why, if you're a guy that can't get the girl, just wait until the next day. Give it another day. Give it another month. Give it another year. You don't got to get so like, you know, it's not the, I mean, it's a wonderful thing, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's
All those hours, Jeff, and people don't realize this either. I didn't realize how much effort it took to get your bachelor's until I went back to school and actually achieved it. It takes a lot of studying, a lot of dedication, and a lot of time away from things that you take for granted on a daily basis, your family, your friends, the hobbies that you might have. He had a lot going for him, you
yeah,
know, intellectually, with his degrees and everything else. He spent a lot of damn time achieving that. But to him, obviously, that was not the biggest reward. And that's what makes it so sad is he spent so much time achieving that degree status that he chose to throw it all away.
yeah,
That wasn't even, I mean, in his affidavit, he didn't mention his education one time. He didn't mention any of that. Not that he should have, but to me, you would have at least said, I was coerced, and by being coerced, I missed out on a potentially being a PhD, blah, 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 all this stuff. If that really meant that much to you, I would have
yeah.
been pleading, hey, I was duped. Look at all that I've lost. He didn't mention his family. He didn't mention any of that. He mentioned the public has the right to know.
Yeah, and it's a
He
perfect
didn't
opportunity
say,
to say, it couldn't have been me because, I wasn't anywhere near there. I was over there, or I'm sure he's saving stuff for the trial, but
Yeah.
it may or may not happen. But if this is an opportunity to say something, I mean, yeah, I mean,
I
it
heard,
did seem very self-serving. Just all
yeah,
about
I
him.
heard, I heard Tony Bruschi say he could have had that opportunity to say, "Well, I feel bad for the 4 people that lost their lives. I didn't do
Right,
it."
right.
I mean, even as tasteless as that would have been, he didn't even mention that.
Yeah, because
So,
what he did say, we were talking earlier about how the pro burglars will take what Steve says and then misinterpret it and then make the. So I'm going to do the same thing with Brian, because all I heard him say in my interpretation is, this year has been hell in this prison. I want out. I have a month to go before this appeals deadline. I'm going to try anything. And I just heard this Dr. Turvey dude talk about some hair in Ethan's hand. I don't remember hearing about that. Or if I did hear about it, it sounds a little different the way he put it. So I'm going to bank on that. I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket on that. And I'm going to, that's why I keep saying it just seems like a Hail Mary pass. It's like just go for it. It's a month to go. You waited till the last minute to do a plea deal in the first place. Now you're waiting to the last minute before the appeals deadline. It just, I don't know. Also makes me quote Hamilton. That you ever see that the Broadway play Hamilton, where there's that song? It's like it goes, "I'm not throwing away my shot, not throwing away my shot." This is his shot. This is 30 days
yeah.
before the appeals deadline, and
So you say
I don't
that
blame him.
there's-
I don't blame him.
So
he
you
probably,
say that there's a chance.
you're saying,
Yeah. Really quickly, it is an opportunity, and obviously somebody's been talking to him to fire him up because, think about it. If you were in prison and somebody wrote you and said, "Hey, did you know this dude just came out with a book and he said that there was a clump of hair and it's exculpatory evidence and blah, blah, blah," they start, firing you up.
right,
Then
right.
all of a sudden you're like, "Well, hell, I got 30 days to appeal. I better get on it."
Yep.
You know?
Maybe was he in such a rush? Is that why his handwriting's so bad? He was writing that thing quickly.
Well, he wrote. Wait till you see the thumbnail, Jeff. You're gonna crack up. But
Yeah.
anyways, I got to get to bed, man. You have
Can you
haven't
can you
said
tell
that.
I don't have to work tomorrow?
Yeah, I can tell.
All
Go
right.
go read a book, Jeff.
Learn a book. Go learn a
Or
book.
go, or like people say, go touch grass.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody wants you here, Jeff. Nobody
Nobody.
wants you here.
All right, Twiz.
My name is Jeff. My name is Jeff.
My name's Jeff. My name's Jeff.
All right, man. Thanks for being here. Everybody in the chat, thank you for hanging in here this long. Maestro, cue that
Cue
music.
that music.
Cue that music. Let's see. What am I going to go with? Here we go.